public hearing on the agri-extension workers and the establishment of the Bureau of Agriculture Cooperatives. Magandang umaga sa kanilang lahat. May we request the committee secretary to place on record our invited resource persons. Attorney Lina, go ahead, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, friends. From the Department of Agriculture, represented by Director Hazel B. Alfon, PhD, OIC Director, Interim Agricultural Cooperative Enterprise Development Service, ACED, and Farm and Fisheries Clustering.
Director Alfon, when did you assume your office?
2 weeks ago, sir.
Yes,
I'm your former staff.
yes, a member of OPAPSAM. I'm happy to know that you are now on board. Go ahead and welcome.
From the Department of Agricultural Training Institute, Director Remelin R. Recoter. From the Bureau of Agricultural Research, Joel Lales. From the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, BIFAR, represented by Amor Diaz, Chief Fishery Industry Development and Support Services. From the Department of Agrarian Reform, represented by Assistant Secretary James Arsenio Ponce and Ms. Delia Baldovino Gabales, Chief Agrarian Reform Program Officer. From the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, represented by Raquel Ortega, Climate Change Mainstreaming and Integration Division. From the Department of Budget and Management, Attorney Tricia M. Baraan. From the Department of Trade and Industry, Ferdinand T. Apari, Program Manager. From the Cooperative Development Authority, Ray Elevaso, Deputy Administrator.
Morning, sir.
From the Bureau of Internal Revenue, represented by Attorney Edgar Allan Reyes II. We invited the DLG, Mr. Chair, but they haven't arrived yet. From the Philippine Statistics Authority, PSA, represented by Rachel C. Laksa, Assistant National Statistician. From the Land Bank of the Philippines, represented by First Vice President Eden B. Hapitana. From the Development Bank of the Philippines, represented by Vice President Myra G. Almohino Calara. From the League of Provinces of the Philippines, represented by Jomar Eligario, the Executive Director. From the Department of Education, represented by Alkin Tatao and Attorney Chamuel Jofel Dave Bakay. Deputy. Wala, sir. We invited them through the pasok. Nag-decline po. From
Decline?
Yes, wala raw silang conflict schedule.
If we can invite them sa next, if not the hearing, the technical working group, they have to be here.
Yes, sir.
No?
Okay.
In fact, I want the chairman of CHED to be in the technical working group.
I'll relay that to them, sir.
Because agri universities will play a key role in extension service.
From the Department of Science and Technology, represented by Alexander John Borja. From the Commission on Audit, Attorney Nicole Felici Madriaga Berliantes and Attorney Susie Jen Evangelista. From the private organizations, we have Dr. Ernesto Ordonez, the chairperson of Alianza Agricultura. From the Coalition for Agricultural Modernization of the Philippines, Incorporated, CAMP Incorporated, represented by Erwin Belen, member. From the Kilusang Magbubukid ng Pilipinas, Danilo Ramos, chairperson. From the League of Municipal and City Agriculturists of the Philippines, LEMCAP, we have Risalinda Tohilida Quiros, Municipal Agriculturist, the chairperson, together with the national president, together with Seferino C. Orvan, National Auditor, Orlando S. Ramos from Nueva Ecija, and Ms. Leia M. Beltran. That's all for now, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Attorney Lina. Before we proceed, in 2012, we held in Alfonso, Cavite, a farm field school, of which Sweet Spring Country Farm, the farm that I was managing and running, was the host. 14 weeks, every week for 14 weeks, we had farmers from the area coming to the farm for organic vegetable training. We graduated about 14 weeks later, about over 40 vegetable and fruit farmers. After which, I personally sat down with them, I think twice, trying our best to get organized. Unfortunately, because of the lack of support from government, our efforts did not prosper. 14 na linggo kaming tinraining, no, ng ATI, ng DA, ng DA Alfonso, at maganda yung naging samahan. Nagkaroon ng ika nga malakas na camaraderie among the 40+ farmers. And I hosted one or two of the meetings after the 14 weeks of being the host to try and get the group organized into a cooperative. We failed. That was 2012. In 2024, we did the same. We tried to organize the Alfonso farmers clusters, fruits and vegetables. We had the farm field school again. 14 weeks, every week from September to January. Good morning.
President. Ikaw sa ano yun, nabasa ko. President Chair.
Chairperson. Oh.
Congrats.
Thank you. Before I proceed with completing my statement, we acknowledge the presence of Senator Raffy Tulfo. And so, I go back to my own personal experience. I was in the private sector. In fairness to the ATI, they were very accommodating. In fairness to the DA Region 4A, they were supportive. In fairness to the LGU, they were likewise supportive. And that's why we were able to put together 14 weeks. The farm again was the host. 57, actually, farmers, vegetable farmers attended. Dumami pa. We started from about 40. By the end of the 14 weeks, naging 57. But in January of 2025, nag-graduate, nabigyan ng certificate. Unfortunately, hindi na naman na-organize yung 57 farmers. Clearly, mayroong gaps sa pagpapalakas ng ating mga farmers associations and organizations on the ground. Which is why I therefore concluded after two farm field school experiences in a 10-year, 12-year period na hanggat walang boots on the ground ang DA, hindi mapapalakas ng husto ang ating mga magsasaka at mangingisda. At mananatiling kapos, mananatiling hindi productive, bagsak ang yields, kapos ang kita, ibebenta na lang ang lupa dahil kahit anong intervention natin sa taas, kung hindi organisado sa baba, para lang tayong puro drawing. Gagastos ng malaki, hindi naman ma-absorb ng maayos ng ating farmers and fisher folk organizations. And that's why the establishment of the Bureau of Agriculture Co-ops, which is what we're tackling today, and the renationalization of extension service measure is likewise what we're tackling today. Structural reforms ang kinakailangan natin para mapalakas ang hanay ng mga magsasaka at mangingisda. For the information of Senator Tulfo, this is our second hearing, and then we have had one TWG on the issue of how do we organize our farmers and our fisher folk by way of extension services and by way of the Bureau, the proposed Bureau of Agriculture Cooperatives. Meron na tayong Bureau of Agriculture Co-ops noon. Kaso na-abolish nga nung dinevolve ang agriculture sa ating mga LGUs. We welcome everyone, and we hope we will have a fruitful discussion on these twin measures, which, by the way, the DA has supported, and the President himself in our meeting to discuss floor prices for palay, he likewise shared his experiences as governor of Ilocos Norte and how critical extension service and the organization of our co-ops is or are in the context of really bringing agriculture and fisheries in the country and achieving the modernization of our agriculture and fisheries. And in parting, unless we organize our farmers and fisher folk, we will never modernize our agriculture. That's how important these twin measures are. With that, I turn over the floor to Senator Raffy Tulfo for his opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. Mr. Chair, Senator Pangilinan, guests and resource persons. Before anything else, I would like to acknowledge this committee and its chairperson, Senator Pangilinan, for being active in holding hearings, all for the welfare of our agriculture sector, lalo na para sa ating mga magsasaka at mga fisher folks. This industry is so crucial, tulad sinabi kanina ni Mr. Chair, for the sustenance of our nation, and yet they are the ones most neglected and in dire need of government support. I fully support the bills being taken up today because I see the wisdom behind encouraging our agricultural workers and sectors to group together into cooperatives so that they could face challenges together and support each other in various stages of the agricultural cycle. Mula sa pagtatanim hanggang sa pag-aani at hanggang sa maibenta ang kanilang mga produkto. If implemented properly, our farmers could grow together because of this sharing of knowledge, experience, and possibly resources. Furthermore, the government could be aided if it deals with specialized cooperatives who know what their sector needs. Delivery of services could possibly be more efficient and sensible. Ito po ang nais kong matugunan talaga na makarating ang tulong ng ating gobyerno sa bawat magsasaka at mangingisda. At sana makarating ang tulong sa lalong madaling panahon. Time is of the essence when it comes to the agriculture industry. The support that needs to be given must be given immediately. Ang panahon ng pagtatanim at pag-aani ay hindi humihinto po. Pag lumipas ito, buwan o taon ulit ang hihintayin. Kaya kung walang binhi o fertilizer o dryer, sa panahon na kailangan ng mga ito, nga ang ating mga magsasaka. Of course, everybody knows that. Mr. Chair, I would like to find out how these bills could complement or improve the existing system of the Department of Agriculture. And I would like to ask kung naayos na ba nila ang mga sistema na meron sila ngayon. What I'm talking about is the RSBSA, or the registry system for basic sectors in agriculture. Dati kasi nung previous hearings, nung last Congress, nagkaroon tayo ng hearing regarding RSBSA, Mr. Chair, at may mga samot-saring problema na lumutang. And so later siguro atin alamin kung naayos na ba yung mga problemang yun para sa kapananan nating mga magsasaka. Ang daming tulong po ng ating gobyerno para sa mga magsasaka at mangingisda ang hindi nakakarating dahil hindi lahat ng magsasaka at mangingisda ay rehistrado o napapayagang makapagrehistro o kapag gusto na magrehistro, umaabot ng siyam-siyam bago sila nagiging parte ng programa. May ilan na hindi pinapayagan dahil sa iba't ibang mga requirements kada bayan. At meron naman mga hindi naman magsasaka na nakakatanggap ng ayuda. Depende kung may koneksyon sila sa regional office. May ilang lumapit din sa akin na hindi nila alam kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng RSBSA. At siyempre, madami din na ghost magsasaka. At hindi na ngayon, o di kaya ay pumanaw na, ay nasa listahan pa din. Ano na nga ba ang nagawa ng DA para maayos itong RSBSA? Dito kasi nakadepende lahat ng tulong na binababa natin. Ang tanging hiling ko lang na sana sa mga batas na tatalakayin natin ngayon ay masiguro natin na hindi na ito pagmula ng abuso ng ilan. Dapat ang mga kooperatiba ay mabantayan na lahat na magsasaka at mangingisda na kabilang sa kanilang sektor ay tatanggapin at makikinabang. Hindi pwedeng eksklusibo ito sa ilam o palakasan para makapasok. Dapat may malinaw na batayan kung sino ang miyembro at ito ay namomonitor at regulated ng Department of Agriculture. Mr. Chair, I also have the same support for the Agriculture and Fisheries Extension Act of 2025. I believe that in this day and age, education and information service is crucial for the progress of the agriculture sector. I hope the DA would work hand in hand with the DOST. I have been seeing some projects of the DOST that is geared towards improving the agriculture sector through efficient information sharing. In fact, the DOST is investing 600 million pesos for the nationwide implementation of smart farming technologies called Project Saray o Smarter Approaches to Reinvigorates Agriculture as an Industry. I hope this could be incorporated in the bill. I will reserve my questions for later, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Rafi Tulfo. We share his concern about the accuracy of the RSBSA and how we can improve our tracking of registration of farmers and fisher folks sa RSBSA dahil sabi nga, kung hindi natin kilala o hindi accurate yung listahan, paano natin matitiyak na yung kung anumang ginagastos natin ay ginagastos ng tama? May mga nagsasabi, sinasadyang hindi tapusin dahil pagka tinapos at naging accurate, hindi na maaring magamit sa mga ghost yung pondo. And that's why, actually, it all begins with the data. Before we can actually put in place, tama si Sen. Rafi, anumang mga programa, kung hindi naman natin napupuntirya yung mga benepisyaryo, anong halaga nung anumang programang yun? And that's why the RSBSA is critical in any intervention that will address the challenges of our farmers and fisher folk. Unfortunately, I don't think any of the resource persons today are among the DA, unless Dr. can help explain yung issues raised, because I'd like to focus on that first so that we can put it, how do you call it, if there are questions by Sen. Rafi, he can go ahead, no? Before we tackle the other concerns. Yung RSBSA, maybe Director Recoter, would you like to respond to the points raised by Senator Rafi?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning to our senators and to all. Although I'm not in charge for the registry system for basic sector in agriculture, just last week I requested for some data from the in charge Director Lorna Calda because I'm using it in my presentation in Cebu for the Municipal Agriculture and Fisheries Investment Forum. And as of today, there are about 10.7 million farmers registered under the RSBSA. And farmers alone is 6.8 million. Fishers, 2.7 million. Farm workers, 2 million. And agri-youth, 328. So,
328,000 or 300?
yes, sir, 328,413 for the farm youth, as given to me last week by Director Calda. The in charge is collaborating with the regional field offices, who are in charge with cleansing the registry system for basic sector in agriculture. And they are also doing georeferencing in terms of the areas of the mentioned farmers. So they go out into the field to measure the areas of these farmers. So the regional field office personnel are the ones doing this, Mr. Chair. Yes, sir.
Pon, go ahead.
Good morning, Senator Tulfo and Senator Pangilinan. Sir, actually po dun sa RSBSA, baka po hindi ko po sure kung kailangan i-cover ng batas. Pwede po kaya na i-propose yung interconnectivity po ng information natin. Like for example, PSA, sa DICT, tapos yung local government information through a background technology na blockchain. Kasi po, ang isa po kasing concern, yun nga po yung clients na hindi natin alam kung buhay pa. Pag naka-blockchain po kasi, yung records po, at saka kung nakakonekta siguro kami with PSA, doon pa lang po, once na nag-register siya, baka ma-validate na po natin kung baka may death certificate na pala siya doon sa PSA. So, baka hindi pwede po siguro i-cover ng batas. Tapos kasi po since ini-strengthen po natin yung mga agricultural cooperatives, syempre po magkakaroon yan ng registration. Since mare-record din naman po yun, baka pwedeng doon na rin po i-validate doon sa blockchain-based traceability management. So ito po, actually ang blockchain po kasi hindi lang naman cryptocurrency yung yung kanyang application. Pwede rin po ito sa provenance data, meaning po yung historical data. Ayan. So, baka po pwede nating ilagay sa ating policy. Thank you po.
Sige, we'll note that. And if you can give us a position paper, ma'am, Director, so that we will be guided. Also for the information of Senator Tulfo, in the budget hearing, actually, we raised this, no? Yung problema nga ng RSBSA, at sabi nga ng DA, inamin nga nila na marami pang mga magsasaka ang hindi pa nakakapagrehistro. At nabanggit nga yung kakulangan ng dokumento, etc. Ang sabi naman ng DA Statistics Office, kailangan nila ng budget para magkaroon ng masusing pagbubusisi dito sa mga listahan na ito. And in-endorse ni Senator Win Galcharian at in-approve yung ating endorsement na nagdagdagan ng 100 million yung DA Statistics Office para mapondohan itong pagbubusisi at maaayos itong mga gaps dito sa accuracy ng RSBSA.
Mr. Chair, may tanong na ako. Kasi marami mga farmers na hindi talaga nila alam na meron palang RSBSA. So, anong ginagawa ng DA para itong mga farmers na walang kaalam-alam tungkol sa existence ng RSBSA ay mabibigyan sila ng mga info na, hey, we are here and you can apply. Okay? And you can get benefits from the government. Number two, gaano kahaba yung proseso? Kasi yung iba, alam nila, nag-apply sila, ang tagal doon, nagpapabalik-balik sila. at hindi sila agad na aprubahan. So, yung iba, pinapabayaan na lang, tinatamad na.
Mr. Chair, may I respectfully be recognized?
Yes, what is your name, ma'am? Medyo malabo na yung mga mata namin dito.
I am Rizalina Tugilida Quiros, the National LEMCA President po from LGU po.
Okay, go ahead. What
Yes,
is
sir.
LM local
League of Municipal Agricultural Officers, Municipal Agriculturists, City Agriculturists of the Philippines po, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead. What is your Rizalina?
Yes, sir. With regards to yung tinatanong po ni Honorable Rafi Tulfo regarding sa RSBSA, if we remember, nag-start po ang RSBSA through DBM. Sila po yung nagpa-seminar sa amin noon. Kumuha sila ng mga, anong tawag natin doon? Mga enumerators na na-deploy sa mga barangays. But when the result come out, doon po natin nakita na may mga names of farmers na nagduduplicate yung names. So, iyon yung naging issue namin sa DA, sa region noon, na sinabi namin na bakit nagduduplicate yung mga pangalan ng mga farmers. So, and then nagkaroon na naman ng memorandum from our secretary na magkaroon ng updating of RSBSA. So doon na po nag-start na nagkaroon ng RSBSA updating. Meron na namang binigay ang regional office to come in our LGUs to conduct yung sa updating po. So medyo maayos-ayos na rin, nawala na yung mga nagduduplicate na names po doon.
Can you give us a timeline? Kailan yung
2019 yata yung maalala ko, Senator, kasi doon
matagal
nag-start
na.
na yung mga pagperma-perma din namin doon sa RSBSA form, registry. Dumadaan kasi sa amin yun, sir. And then, nung tapos na yon, nagkaroon na yan yung Rice Farmer Financial Assistance. Doon naman sa unang pagbigay ng Rice Farmer Financial Assistance, kumpara doon sa nauna na listahan, doon sila nag-base. Kaya maraming walang pangalan na farmers. So, nagkaroon ng updating. Continuous po kasi, sir, yung updating. Halimbawa, itong last na RFFA na na-receive ngayon, ang central kasi binababa doon sa Department of Agriculture, yung Department of Agriculture binababa sa amin para ma-check po namin kung ang mga farmers na ito ay buhay pa, namatay na, nasa abroad na, o hindi na nagtatanim. So, ayun po yung trinatrabaho namin sa baba regarding dito sa RSBSA. Ngayon, nagpapatulong naman kami namang MAs po kasi nga kulang kami talaga ng tao sa munisipyo. Kagaya ko po, kami yung pinakamaluwang sa La Union. 5 lang po kami sa Agriculture Office. Ilang banners po ang department, ang agrikultura. Napakadami po. So, ayun.
Yung 5, isang bayan yan o isang lalawigan?
Isang bayan po.
Okay.
Isang bayan.
Okay.
Ngayon po, hindi namin magawa lahat. Kaya nagpapatulong kami sa barangay council. Doon, chine-check nila kasi mas kilala po nila yung mga constituents po sa barangay, yung mga kagawad, yung punong barangays. Binibigay namin yung listahan para i-check din nila kung buhay pa ba, patay na, hindi na talaga
can I interrupt?
nagtatanim.
Ma'am, you're
Yes,
not
po.
answering my question. Medyo lihis ka po sa sinasabi ko kanina sa mga katanungan ko. Ma'am, let me finish, okay?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am,
ulit lang.
please, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead,
Yes.
Senator Rafi.
Okay, advance ka eh. Yun sana, pangalawang question ko sana yan. Inunahan mo ako.
Okay.
Ang sa akin, marami ang hindi nakakaalam na meron palang RSBSA. Halimbawa, kukuha sila ng fuel subsidy. Okay? Fisher folks, mga farmers. Then they didn't know na kailangan pala pumasok ka muna sa RSBSA. And then pag nag-apply sila sa RSBSA, it will take some time before makapasok sa programa. Yun po yung sa akin, ang layo niyo po, ma'am eh.
And then ganito po, Senator.
Ma'am, huwag niyo na pagpilitan. Yun lang po yung tinatanong ko. Dapat silang sasagot, hindi ikaw.
Di kasi yung...
Kasi sila pong, ma'am, sa kanila nag-a-apply eh.
At sa amin
Unless
po-
you will answer the question.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
You answer the question
Ga-
directly.
ganito po kasi-
Na bakit hindi alam ng maraming farmers na may RSBSA?
Kulang po kami ng mga tao, pero kami po sa LGU, sinasabi namin yan. Yung sa fuel subsidy naman po, iba kasing proseso na naman po iyon.
Yes, but the point there is maraming farmer, sagutin mo na gustong masagot yung tanong. Bakit
Yun po,
marami-
kulang po ng tao, Honorable Chair. At saka, lahat naman nasasabi. Minsan kasi, may mga farmers din na dahil sa mga requirements, doon sila nag-aatras. Kasi nga, may mga farmers na tenant. Kung ayaw ibigay ng landowner yung tax declaration niya na isa sa requirements, doon po sila umaatras. Kaya ang ginagawa din po namin...
For
kasi-
example, doon sa point na yon, kayo naman ang nakakakilala doon sa farm worker na yon eh. Hindi ba dapat, di ba maaari, kayo na lang ang magsicertify sa halip na magsasubmit pa ng napakaraming dokumento?
Hindi po tatanggapin ng system.
Well, that's the whole point. Baka the system has to be adjusted.
Yun po,
Di ba?
Honorable.
Kayo yung official doon sa baba, sa bayan mismo. Kilala nyo yung mga yun eh. Alam naman ninyo kung sila totoong farmer o totoong tenant o hindi. Hindi na kailangan ng dokumentong land.
Ibinabalik po kasi ng system po.
Yes, I understand.
Yes po.
I understand. Therefore, there is a problem with the system.
Yes po, sir. At iyon po yung na-raise na rin namin kay Secretary, and then ang sabi naman ni Secretary ay inaayos na po yung sistema po.
Okay. And to answer the question being raised by Senator Tulfo, go ahead.
Senator Tulfo, sa pagpunta po namin sa mga barabarangay, ang isa pong challenge sa mga farmers, una po pamasahe. Kasi po, when we do the registration, normally po sa sentro. So, isa pa rin po doon yung social side po nung registration. Karamihan po sa kanila, hindi marunong bumasa at sumulat. So, kailangan po na, yun nga po, na assistance sa kanila para ma-register. At saka po yung kahalagahan kung bakit sila kailangan mag-register sa RSBSA, baka po challenge yung pagpapaliwanag po sa kanila. So, siguro po ang isang position po ng DA na pwedeng i-propose po, pag-uusapan namin internally, yung papaano po magiging self-service siguro yung technology para naman po, kunyari, cellphone lang yung dala, ma-register po doon or matutulungan ng anak. So, sige po, we'll act on it po.
Tulad nga po, sinabi ni
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, yung mga nasa LGU, alam nila kung sino yung mga farmers, sino yung mga tenants and all. So, nabanggit niyo po, Director Alfron, may mga pagkakataon na yung farmers ay no read, no write. So, nahihirapan silang intindihin kung ano man nilalaman sa doon sa application. So, wala bang departamento dyan sa DA para yung mga no read, no write, sila po mag-assist doon sa application para mas mapabilis yung proseso? Oh. So pag no read,
Please
no write
place
ka,
on record your sa ngayon po,
Sa ngayon po, wala. Kasi po, humihingi kami ng tulong po sa LGU kasi syempre sila po ngayon, naka-devolve po kasi yung mga functions. So, karamihan po ay talagang inihingi namin ng malaking tulong sa mga LGU.
so kung no read, no write yung isang farmers at wala siyang mga kamag-anak para tulungan siya doon sa application niya, sorry na lang, uwi na lang siya ng luhaan.
Sige sir, we'll look into it po. Social side po kasi siya ng tawag dito ng programa. Pag-aaralan po namin mabuti.
Director Recoter, you wanted to...
Yeah. Yung isang information dissemination is, of course, through radio. May mga time slots naman yung ibang agencies as well as ATI. And we do information dissemination likewise sa School on the Air. And tama yun, sa tulong ng local government units, particularly the Municipal Agriculturist Office, malaking tulong nila in terms of the registration. And they likewise assist those who can read and write Yung importante kasi yung dokumento. Kailangan yun nga, yung tax declaration and even certification from the barangay captain na talagang tiller sila doon sa kanilang barangay.
Which I think has to be revisited, no? Kasi nga, kung masyadong maraming requisitos, you defeat the whole purpose of being able to get more registered, di ba? Of course, there has to be safeguards, pero wag naman to the point na nadi-defeat yung purpose na makapagrehistro. Because even in the other laws, for the information of Senator Tulfo, I'm sure he's aware of this, na agri-related, lagi nag-uumpisa sa accredited farmers and fisher folk para maging para makapag-avail ng mga programa tulad halimbawa nung Sagip Saka Act na kung hindi ka accredited bilang Farmers Association ay hindi ka pwedeng mag-avail ng benefits at ng probisyon ng mga batas. Kaya it goes back to that yung paano tiyakin na lahat ng mga nararapat maparehistro ay narerehistro. And if I may also share, siguro itong dito tayo nagkakaroon ng kitang-kita na yung gap Kasi sabi ng DA, they rely on the local governments. Sabi naman ng local government, wala naman silang tao. O edi wala. Ganun kasimple, di ba? Di ba? Sinabi, 5 lang sila sa isang bayan. Di ba? Ako nga, and I will point this out, isa lang ang hinihingi kong local sa LGU noon, sa Alfonso. Isa lang. I-assign, i-dedicate para ma-organize yung 300 vegetable growers ng Alfonso. I was only asking for 1 dedicated LGU staff. And they could not give it. Because nga, 7 lang sila. So, ayun na. Parang nagre-rely ang national sa LGU para mapatupad itong pagre-rehistro. Ang daing naman ng LGU, kulang ang tao namin.
Sir, pwede ko po
Yes, go
bang
ahead.
i-share yung nagpadala po kasi ng message si Director Lorna Calda. Siya po kasi yung nagmamanage nun sa RSBSA. Ito po, number 1, yes, not all farmers are registered sa RSBSA because voluntary ang registration. But we're doing our best to convince all farmers to register and reach far-flung areas. Sa agri-youth lang yan, required kasi sa RTL, na lahat ng participants ng TESDA sa mga trainings ng RCEF ay registered sa RSBSA. Number 3, each intervention of the department has different criteria. Example, RFFA, rice farmers only tilling 2 hectares and below. Seeds ng RCEF Phase 2 up to 10 hectares pwede bigyan ng seeds. So, siguro sir, dag ko na rin po yun sa LGU. Totoo po yun sa napuntahan natin, mga 5 lang po sila and they do all. Kunyari po, pati rabies vaccination, sila po yung in charge. So maunawaan din po natin na talagang may challenge po sila na tulungan po kami sa registration. Baka pwede pong magsabi ng iniisip namin, baka po pwede nating tanungin ng DepEd yung K-12, baka pwede nating immobilize kasi ando na rin naman yung mga bata at saka yung university extension.
Actually,
baka po pwede.
nabanggit ninyo yan and yung aming, nung ako'y private sector, sumulat kami sa lahat ng mga state universities. Dahil lahat ng state universities na may agriculture degree granting, ika nga, mayroong OJT na required na hindi sila mag-graduate unless gumawa sila meron silang OJT ng 240 hours. So, and last year, 26,000 ang nag-graduate na mga estudyante sa agriculture. So, heto ang LGU, walang tao. Heto ang CHED at yung state universities, every year nag-OJT ng libo-libo, pero hindi tumutugma na dapat sana merong tie up sa mga LGU ang state universities para yung kanilang OJT sa mga farms doon sa lugar nila ay nabibigyan ng dagdag na suporta. Pero yon, that is one way of addressing itong challenge of extension workers down to the grassroots. Hindi ba?
Mr. Chair?
Yes,
Mr. Chair.
Senator.
Okay.
Before we recognize the lady there, yes, Senator
Mr. Chair,
Rafi.
nabanggit kanina ni Director Alfon na voluntary yung pag-register sa RSBSA. So why don't you tap yung mga barangay chairman, mga kagawad, tanod, and meron man tinatawag na farm school. These farm schools, kalat to, by the thousands nationwide. So yung mga estudyante dyan, pwedeng ipakala sa kanila. Siyempre may mga farmers yan, would-be farmers, and then yung kanilang mga magulang. So para magkaroon ng kaalaman, itap niyo po yung farm schools. Saka yung mga barangay chairman, tanod, kagawad.
Well noted po, sir.
Yeah.
Right now, I think I have in our farm, no? We have about 8 students from the Sorsogon State University. Bago nun, Bicol Central University. Meron ding Tarlac Agriculture University. Pumupunta sa farm and they spend 200. Estudyante. Dahil sa ngayon, ang hirap kumuha ng farm hand. Dahil ngayon may siguro nabawasan ng konti sa Senator Rafi, pero dati kasi mas gusto nila yung construction, lalo na sa mga lalawigan. Construction work kasi 8 to 5. Yung agriculture work, walang oras. So mas ginugusto nung mga laborers sa rural area na doon sa construction. Nung kasagsagan ng construction boom, walang makuhang mga farm hands ang ating mga farming groups and farmers. But here you have tens of thousands every year na mga estudyante na kailangan mag-OJT. Yes, ma'am. What is your name, ma'am?
I'm Lea Beltran, Municipal Agriculturist of LGU Tigaon, Camarines Sur.
Tigaon.
National Board of Director po ng LEMCAP.
Yes, ma'am.
Ito po yung mga reasons kung bakit mababa yung mga RSBSA registered. Una po kasi, mayroon pong guidelines, may description kung sino yung dapat ma-register as farmer. Ang sunod po, may hinihinging proof of ownership. Tama yung sabi ni Senator Tulfo na paano yung hindi marunong magsulat at saka mag-fill up. Lalong-lalo na po yung mga municipality ang daming IPs. Wala silang proof of ownership. Kasama po yan sa bulk na hindi sila makaregister. Ang sunod po, doon sa application, 3 po ang nagpipirma.
Dapat siguro instead of proof of ownership, apart from
Opo. Saka dapat po-
proof of how do you call it, tilling.
Opo, actual tiller dapat pwede na.
Kaya nga, proof of actual
Opo,
tillage.
palitan na lang po.
Kanino siya nagtitil? May-ari ng lupa, di ba?
Opo.
Tama?
Opo.
Tapos nagtitil siya dun sa may-ari ng lupa. Yung may-ari ba ng lupa ay nandun din o absentee?
Nandoon. Pag
Oh.
hindi po inalaw, hindi binigyan ng authority,
O yun, yung authority na yun
Opo.
should already be and certified by the LGU.
Opo.
Should already be sufficient. Di na kinakailangan ng proof of ownership.
tapos,
o kung isa ang proof of ownership. Pero hindi lamang yun. Go ahead, go ahead.
ang sunod po, 3 po nagpipirma sa application, si Municipal Agriculturist, si Barangay Captain, MAPSI. Nagbibigay po si Kapitan ng certification. Actually po, tumutulong kami sa campaign pagpa-RSBSA. Kaya lang po, ang encoding po, sasabit namin yung application sa region ang mag-i-encode. Minsan po doon naantala sa pag-i-encode. Kaya tama po yung sabi ni Senator Tulfo na minsan wala pa sa system. Kasi kahit submitted na kay-region, hindi pa po na-encode.
So kung mayroong DA sa probinsya, national DA, o kaya sa bayan,
Very good po.
yun na nga. Di ba?
Malaking tulong po. Kasi po, yung mga na-devolve,
Saan kayo? Anong lalawigan?
Camarines Sur,
Okay.
Tigaon po.
Nasaan yung regional office ng DA?
Sa Pili, Camarines Sur.
Camarines Sur. Ay mabuti, parehong lalawigan. Eh paano naman yung mga taga-Albay? Paano naman yung mga taga-Masbate?
At least po sila may provincial agriculturist. Yung iba po, walang provincial agriculturist, base po doon sa 7160. It's hindi po mandatory.
Yes.
Kaya may or may not. Kaya minsan, yung probinsya, walang provincial agriculturist. Kaya parang putol yung
Exactly.
connection namin.
Exactly. So pagka hanggang sa municipality yung DA national, malaking tulong, hindi ba?
Malaking tulong.
Okay.
Salamat
Yes,
po, Mr.
from BIFAR. Tapos na ba kayo? Yung mga requirement, okay na? Nabanggit na ninyo?
Okay na po.
Okay.
And
Sige.
dapat mas-simplified po.
Yes.
Actual tiller, pwede na.
Yes, okay. We note that. Yes, ma'am, from BIFAR.
Thank you, Honorable.
Ma'am, kayo ang, what is your designation in BIFAR?
I'm the division chief for the marketing division of the
Okay, go ahead.
BIFAR Central Office. Good morning to all. Gusto ko lang po sanang mag-intervene na in line with the RSBSA. Ito po ay perennial problem po para sa mga fisher folk. Kasi especially, cite ko lang po yung experience po namin because my office is the one in charge in facilitating credit access for the fisher folk. At karamihan po sa mga programa ng mga financing institutions has to be RSBSA registered or accredited. And we have been talking to these financing institutions na i-honor. And nagkakaroon naman na po ng progress, pero medyo mabagal nga lang. Kasi po mayroong fisheries registration system si BIFAR, which is more or less equivalent to RSBSA. May mga fisher folk po or fish farmers na registered sa RSBSA, but not all fisher folk are eligible to register under RSBSA precisely because of the stringent requirements, yung mga nasabi na po, na hindi mag-a-apply sa kanila. And the minute na hindi po nila makomply yung fully yung requirements ng RSBSA, hindi na sila makaregister. So we've been staging dialogue, series of dialogues with the financing institutions, and I think it will be applicable also in this proposed bill, no? Na sana po magkaroon ng parang instead of RSBSA alone, it should be and or fish R. Kasi mas madali po ang requirements sa fish R, kaya at tinatap din po yung assistance para ma-overcome po yung mga geographical barrier na through the municipal agricultural office. And BIFAR may system of consolidating all this registration through under the fish R. Na nakikita po yan sa system naman ng BIFAR. But I think it would be very helpful and a useful system para po maka-avail ng equal access to opportunities po under this proposed bill ang mga fisher folk po.
Kailangan lang walang duplication.
Wala po. In fact po
Kasi sabi nyo kanina, meron na kayong fisher folk na registered sa RSBSA at meron din kayong registered dito sa Fish R.
Opo.
So wag lang magdodoble.
Yun po yung nililinis ngayon po ng DA kasi since si DA po ang nagmamanage nitong, nag-a-administer nitong RSPSA, so may integration ng system na ginawa. So yung pong duplication na yun ay ini-eradicate po, na
May figure ba
iniiwasan.
kayo dun sa sinabing 2 million fish,
2.7.
ilan ang hindi rehistrado? Meron kayong ballpark? Do you have a ballpark figure?
Ang alam ko po na rehistrado sa FishR, hindi ko lang po, I don't have the data, and since my office is not the one in charge, hindi ko lang po kayo masagot sa ngayon, Senator, kung merong nakaregister sa RSBSA na nakaregister din sa FishR. But as of yung po yung latest sa ngayon na sa 2024 po na data ay may 2.4. Na
2.4
million
ang
registered
nasa-
with FishR.
2.4 ang sa FishR.
Opo.
Pero
As of 22024.
Yes, pero 2.7 ang nasa RSBSA.
Opo. But
But not necessarily yung 2.4 na yon merong nakarehistro rin sa RSBSA.
Opo.
Ganun. Okay.
So,
Matanong ko lang-
nag-undergo pa po kasi ng constantly pang chine-check kung may mga duplication or meron yung mga inactive na kailangan na rin tanggalin sa listahan.
Okay, we will note that. FishR,
Opo.
RSBSA, at meron din sa Sagip-Saka yung FEDIS. Dapat yun siguro di ba?
Mr. Chair?
Yeah,
Meron
go ahead,
ko,
go
sir,
ahead.
kasi nabanggit yung fuel subsidies. Bakit itong for year 2026, wala kayong allocation para sa fuel subsidies sa mga fisher folks? Ano nangyari? Kasi yearly dapat meron. This 2026, tinabla kayo. Why?
I apologize po, Senator Tulfo, because I'm not in the best position to respond to that. Hindi
Walang
ko-
sinabi sa inyo. Of course, dapat taga-BFAR ka. At least man lang malaman mo kung bakit hindi kayo nabigyan ng budget for 2026 para sa fuel subsidies ng mga fisher folks. Importante po yun. For so many years, tuloy-tuloy nagkakaroon ng
Yeah.
budget
Maybe
this year.
you can,
Wala.
I wouldn't
no, maybe
dare-
you can call or ask
Yeah.
your assist staff to
Opo.
call your head.
I will po, if you can just give me
Yes, please, and-
then
but-
I will get back to
Is it
you,
because of corruption? Kaya nakita siguro ng COA na may corruption, kaya tinigil mo na. Anyway, another thing, Mr. Chair.
Just for the information of Senator Rafi, hindi hiningi ng DA, walang agency request for fuel subsidies sa
subsidy.
BIFAR.
Ganon.
Yes.
Okay, so may problema ang DA.
I'll check po, Senator.
Or baka, kaya hindi hiningi kasi nga may corruption at
Nakita nila.
di ba? Baka yun ang nangyari. But can we find out, ma'am, and let the committee know? Thank you.
And then kapag natuloy ulit po yan, ang gusto kasi ng mga fisher folks na nakausap ko, Mr. Chair, instead of nabibigyan sila ng voucher at pupunta sila sa mga accredited na mga gasoline station, doon sila bibili, dapat cash na lang. Tapos yung binibigay na gasoline assistance, fuel assistance, not enough. Yun yung reklamo ng farmers. Hindi pa natin natatapos yung problema na not enough, tapos dapat cash, tinanggal totally. Yun yung nakasama ng loob ba. Marami sa ating mga farmers kailangan talaga yung fuel subsidy. Pero tinanggal. So siguro, Mr. Chair, alamin natin sa DA bakit nila tinanggal, bakit nila ni-request pala ang magkaroon ng budget para sa mga fisher folks sa fuel subsidies.
Yes, we will do that. The COMSEC is instructed to clarify this matter with the agency, Department of Agriculture. Yes, Director Recoter.
Meron pa, Mr. Chair, isa na lang.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Meron din bang ayuda sa mga fisher folk kasi halimbawa bagyo, 3 days o 4 days hindi papayagan na pumalaot yung mga mangingisda natin. So syempre, 4 na araw, 3 araw, 4 na araw na wala silang income. Wala bang assistance from the government na those 4 days na wala silang trabaho dahil hindi sila makapanglaot, makatanggap sila ng financial assistance? Do we have that kind of program sa BIFAR? Okay, ulitin ko po. Di ba, kuminsan, lahat tayo palagi may bagyo. Sasabihin ngayon ng Coast Guard, hindi pwede pumalaot ng mga mangingisda. O 2-3 araw, hindi kayo pwedeng pumalaot dahil sa masamang panahon. So yung 3 araw na yun, walang hanap buhay, walang income yung mga fisher folks. So wala bang programa ang BIFAR na yung 3 araw na hindi sila makapangpalaot, merong financial assistance kahit maliit man lang may bigay sa kanila? Pantawid?
Ang alam ko po ay may mga livelihood programs, pero yung as per specific financial assistance po dun sa mga instances na hindi sila nakakapalaot,
Let me assist you there, Director, no?
hindi po. I'm a
Anyway,
division chief.
for the information of Sec Rafi, this was actually tackled sa budget committee hearings. And that's why we endorsed the 10 billion President's assistance to farmers and fisher folk. So merong 10 billion for 2026 and included dapat dyan yung fisher folk na nangangailangan. Dahil nga, yung dahilan doon sa 10 billion, dahil sa sunod-sunod na kalamidad. Kasama doon ang bagyo. So, ang kailangan gawin ngayon ng DA, pakirelay na lang kay Secretary, yung guidelines para ma-avail yung 10 billion, including fisher folk.
Sa pagkakaalam ko po, and I have to verify this from our finance division, but parang yung pong hinihinging additional na budget ng BIFAR ay hindi po nabigay. Hindi nabigay sa BIFAR. Kaya, but I think it was given to DA. So, BIFAR is at the mercy of DA kung bababaan po ng additional budget si BIFAR.
Yes. 10 billion yun, yung assistance na yun.
Mr. Chair, nakausap ko mismo mga fisher folks, especially when I went to Palawan, I think this was a couple of years ago, na palakasan din kapag halimbawa tinamaan ng kalamidad ng isang lugar at nasira yung kanilang mga bangka at nasira ang kanilang mga lambat. So, sino nagde-determine yan? Usually, the before would go to the barangay, di ba? And then barangay, magbibigyan ng listahan, sino tutulungan. Meron ba kayong programa na para masiguro na yun talagang nangangailangan ang mabibigyan? Kung minsan kahit wala raw kailangan na lambat o bangka yung isang tao, dahil nasa listahan ni Chairman, nabibigyan. Pero yung talagang tunay na salanta ng bagyo, hindi nabibigyan. So nagkakaroon ng palakasan system. That's something that you have to look into.
But we have field personnel naman po na active naman po agad na mobilize kapag may mga ganitong sitwasyon sa ground na naa-assess naman po, and isa din po doon yung may mga credit, although it's credit, but isa po yun sa mga assistance at services ng BIFAR na sa panahon po ng may mga ganong sitwasyon at pangangailangan yung mga fisher folk natin, ay aside from the assistance from BIFAR in terms of livelihood, in terms of inputs, yun din pong assistance na ma-facilitate po silang maka-access doon sa insurance po and calamity loans na binibigay po under the program nitong mga financing institutions like the ACPC.
No, I'm not talking about loans, madam.
Opo, and I'm just saying po yung
government
services
assistance.
ni BIFAR.
Yeah, yung mga nasalantasan ng bagyo, yung mga bangka nila nasira, yung mga lambat nila nasira. In fact, there were fisher folks na who comes to my program. Ako nagpapalawal sarili ko. Pero sabi ko, may programa ng gobyerno, bakit? Ano nangyari? So ang sinasabi nila, kasi sir, pag pupunta kami doon kay chairman, palakasan, kuminsan matagal ang proseso, etc. That's why I told you, that is something that you have to look into. Make sure na
sige,
maging
noted
patas
po, sir.
at mabilis yung proseso.
Noted po.
May dagdag ko lang, no, yung ilang mga fisher folk na nakausap natin over time. Yung livelihood na nabanggit po ninyo, yung isang gusto sana nilang mabigyan ng priority sa livelihood, yung technology para yung sa daing ba? At yung packaging at the source. Kasi sabi ni Senator Rafi, pag umuulan na o binabagyo na, wala nang huli, wala nang benta. Pero pag sila naturuan ng livelihood na packaging, post-harvest na drying at ginagawang daing, yun, 2, 3, 4 na, hindi naman buwan siguro, mga 4 na linggo, meron silang benta. Kasi yun ang kanilang pwedeng magtagal. So while hindi sila makapagpalaot dahil nga masama panahon, meron silang alternative na livelihood which is related to fishing. No? But this time, it's value-adding and packaging at the source.
Siya nga pala, Mr. Chair, nagpasa ako ng Senate Bill number 1268 para ma-institutionalize yung pagbibigay ng fuel subsidy sa mga fisher folks. So this time, hindi na pwedeng tablahin ng gobyerno yung fuel subsidy kasi batas na yon. So at it will be 5,000. Before kasi parang 2,000 lang ata or less. So kulang yon. Bibigyan na rin lang tayo, parang nanginsulto pa tayo, napakaliit. Pag bumigay tayo, maging galante naman tayo siguro. Total, yung mga fisher folks natin, yun naman nagpapakain sa atin. Di ba? Kasama yung mga farmers. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Raffy. If I may also add, kung mapalakas natin yung extension service sa baba at mapalakas natin yung kooperatiba, mababawasan itong palakasan. Mawawala actually dahil malakas na yung kooperatiba, may boses na, number one. And number two, yung extension service kasi ngayon, hanggang sa regional lang. So, kaya nagkakaroon ng palakasan dahil marami dun sa humihingi sa baba, walang connect, walang kausap. So, kung sino lang ang malapit dun sa regional, yun ang nabibigyan. Pero yung mga, alimbawa, kami sa Alfonso, Cavite, ang aming regional office ng DA nasa Lipa. 2 oras kalahati para bumiyahe doon galing sa amin eh. So, dahil ang layo nila, siyempre, at hindi nakatungtong sa lupa, ika nga, di dyan pumapasok ngayon yung discretion, yung palakasan, kasi nga, yung struktura is not, the structure is not responsive enough to be able to, kaya nga nagkakaroon ng mga equipment na hindi naman angkop doon sa upland. Para doon lang sa lowland. Kasi nga, lawak nung region eh. Merong upland, may lowland, pero pagdating ng equipment na traktora, binigay sa upland, pang lowland. So may mga ganun challenges pagka ikaw lutang. Ika nga. Yung struktura at yung ahensya ay wala doon sa grassroots. Walang mga foot soldiers. Thank you. We are still in the, siguro we can wrap up na itong RSBSA because we'd like to focus on the other provisions of the proposed measures. No? Okay, let's wrap this up. Director Recoter and then Director Alfon. And then later on, the others have raised their hand.
Some measures that the department is doing, particularly doon sa multiple names na sinabi kanina na concerns. I mentioned earlier yung geo-referencing para at least malaman talaga yung area ng farmer. Kasi meron tayong sa pamilya, 4 na magkakapatid, isang lupa lang. Kuminsan salin-salin yung pagfa-farm. So, geo-referencing is one of the measures that DA would like to do and is ongoing na ngayon, sir. Tapos yung isa pa is liveness check. Titingnan, i-roll out siya ngayong taon ng department. Checking of the registrant via facial recognition. Kasi sa maraming pangalan, ay isa lang naman yung lupa. Ay 4 yung nagfa-farm sa isang lupa. So, sino ba talaga? And then, of course, yung nasabi na kanina ni Dr. Alfon, yung coordination with PSA, particularly those mga deceased na farmers. Thank you po.
That answers, Mr. Chair, dun sa question ng Commission on Audit, na meron 13.5 million registered farmers. Pero sabi ng PSA, samantalang 7.4 million lang nasa record namin actual farmers. So like half. So tama yung sinasabi nyo na isang tao lang, pero may magkakapatid, magkapamilya, nagkadoble-doble. So nasaan na po tayo para matanggal malinis po itong discrepancy? Meron pong ginagawa tayo na...
Yes po. Continuous po yung cleansing.
Pero nasaan na po tayo? So far, ilang porsyento na po ang nalilinis natin?
Hindi ko po masagot. Probably in the next meeting, the Senate committee can invite Director Lorna Calda.
No, just to fast track this, siguro the COMSEC can just is instructed to make the necessary communications to the director to answer, to submit in writing, the issues raised by Senator Raffy. We can, of course, invite him to the next hearing, but at least may sagot na kaagad. And then we will determine based on yung sagot niya kung kailangan pang i-hearing siya o hindi. Is that okay, Senator?
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Yes,
Mr.
yes.
Chair.
Okay. Yes, Director Alfon. And then who else on the issue of RSBSA? RSBSA, okay, 1, 2. Okay, go
Yes
ahead.
po. So, ayun nga po, dun sabi po nila, yung sa cleansing daw po, tini-check din po yung veracity nung sa land. Tapos, i-cross-match daw po ito dun sa data na nakukuha sa PSA para daw po ma-ensure na, yun nga po, walang doble. Tapos, madagdag ko na lang din po, yung sabi po ni Director Calda, BIFAR daw po can access the quick response fund po dun sa mga naapektuhan po ng typhoon, na mga mangingisda. Apo. Yun lang po. Thank you po.
1 billion yun. Yung DA Quick Response Fund na pwedeng dagdagan o i-replenish. Yes, Ginoong Elevaz.
Yes, sir. Magandang umaga po, Sir Chair, Senator.
Pakop, CDA, go ahead.
Yes po. Kasama ko ako po si Ray Elevaso, Deputy Administrator ng CDA for Institutional Development Service. Kasama ko po ang aming pong Deputy Administrator din sa Legal Affairs Service, si Attorney Lea Banagihan. Maganda po yung usapan sa RSBSA at kami po sa Cooperative Development Authority bilang malapit na partner ng DA po ay tumutulong din sa dissemination through our cooperatives. Kung hindi nyo po na itatanong, meron pong mga 8,000 na agricultural cooperatives under the agricultural cluster ng Cooperative Development Authority. At mga siyam na tipo ng kooperatiba ang pinanggagalingan po ng agricultural cooperatives na tinatawag po namin. So, yan po yung Agrarian Reform, yung Agriculture Cooperative mismo, yung Marketing Cooperative, Fishermen Cooperative, Dairy, and other types of cooperatives na engage in agriculture. So, meron din pong mga federation na ibang naka-engage sa agriculture. So, pwede pong sa ating pong problema sa dissemination ng RSBSA, pwede pong ipalaganap natin through cooperatives mismo sa pamamagitan din ng Cooperative Development Authority, yung RSBSA. And nakikita po namin na sa iba pong sinasabi po kasi ng ating pong ginagalang na senador, Senator Pangilinan, na yung capacity building ng cooperatives ay pwede po makita po natin kung paano po makatulong din ang Cooperative Development Authority. At naalala po namin, meron po tayo, bukod sa CDA, sir, meron din pong RA 11535 na nag-empower sa lahat ng local government units na magtalaga ng kanilang cooperative development officer sa local level. So napakalaking tulong po niyan sa ating pong synergy sa baba upang sa ganun ay mas mapalakas pa po natin ang ating pong mga kooperatiba, sir.
Saan ang, di ba 15 yung offices ninyo, regional offices?
17 na po, sir, including NIR.
17?
Yes, sir.
Saan ang regional office ng CDA sa Region 4A?
Sa Kalamba po, sir.
O, yun na
Calamba,
nga.
Laguna.
Mga 3 oras mula sa amin hanggang doon.
Yeah, yun lang, sir.
But in fairness, yung Cooperative Development Officer ng Alfonso, LGU, masipag, no? Pero yun din, kulang din sa tao, no? Sa baba. Tsaka, bilang Cooperative Development Authority, di ba? Meron kayong nakalimutan ko yung tatanungin ko. Yung transport cooperatives ba sa ilalim ninyo o nasa DOTR?
Dalawang ahensya ng gobyerno po yung umaasikaso sa kanila. Ang unang-una pagdating sa registration,
Okay.
and then sa basic mandatory trainings and other sa CDA po 'yon.
Okay.
Pero bago sila magrehistro po sa amin, kailangan dumaan po sila sa OTC, sa Office of Transport Cooperatives under DOTR.
Yes.
So doon po meron silang may basic training din po sila doon. And i-endorso ng OTC ang pagre-rehistro po ng mga nakita nilang tinutulungan nilang transport service cooperative sa Cooperative Development Authority.
Kasi yun ang gusto nating makita na bilang halimbawa, no, dahil nga malakas din ang my understanding, malakas ang presensya at sabihin na nating presensya ng DOTR sa transport co-ops, 'di ba? Matibay ang hindi ata ganung liwanag at yung sa DA at yung mga agri-co-ops.
Yun pong relasyon namin sa OTC, they are more on developmental sa kanilang mandato. Sa amin po, dahil kailangan din pong palakasin namin yung buong cooperative sector, meron po kaming developmental function din, pero kami po yung overall sa registration and regulation ng cooperative, ganun din po yung relasyon namin sa OTC po.
And that's what we'd like to, how do you call it, institutionalize din sa Bureau of Agriculture Co-ops. Na yung developmental aspect ay mas hawak ng DA habang yung regulatory nasa CDA. Yeah. Okay. Meron pa isa, si Philippine Statistics Authority. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to share to everyone po that as already mentioned by Director Recoteur, the RSBSA Agri-Verify system or the liveness checking is already integrated with the national ID. So as long as the beneficiaries are registered in the national ID, they could enter po yung, or provide their demographic information in the system to verify their liveness or that they are existing. And then at the same time po, regarding the proposal of Director Alfon to connect the RSBSA and the PSA civil registration documents, we have the PSA Memorandum Circular 2019-15A that states that government agencies can request civil registration documents as long as the head of the agency writes a request to our National Statistician and Civil Registrar General. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Baka pwede na tayong mag-segue sa extension service. Pero unang tanong, dito sa 2026 budget, yung DA Reach Program for Extension Workers, may pondo yan na 277 million DBM. No? Pero meron siyang, sa veto message ni Presidente, hindi man niya vinito itong 277M, ay merong conditional implementation subject to certain requirements before it is released. Dapat daw may DBM guidelines. Nakipag-usap na ba ang DBM tsaka ang DA tungkol dito?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. We will coordinate po with the DA regarding po the guidelines that needs to be issued po. We will update po the committee.
So hindi pa nakipag-coordinate, magko-coordinate pa lang. Critical yan kasi yung pondo na yan yung pinag-uusapan natin kanina pa na para magkaroon ng presensya ang DA hanggang sa baba, at least initially, di ba? And without that, ganun ulit. Di ba? So, can we get an update? No, after this hearing, maybe please do the coordination. We will also ask the DA. No, we will follow up with the DA. Yan ang oversight namin. No? Kami nagpasa ng batas, may conditional implementation, may requirements. Gusto namin malaman kailan nyo ilalabas yung requirement. Baka naman bekenemen, sabi nila, no? Mas mabilis. Okay, so we go to the issue of extensions service. We can start with sino po ba ang asan yung listahan mo? Yung position papers. Nasaan yun? Sorry. Yung flow. DA muna, yung comments and recommendations dun sa measure ng extension. Isabay na rin ninyo siguro yung co-ops, no? Meron na ba kayong position paper and na maaaring at least to get the ball rolling? Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. This was signed by and transmitted by the Office of the Secretary sometime October 2025, sir.
Highlights na lang, no? The highlights na lang.
Yeah, for Senate Bill 1182, which proposes to transform ATI into the PAFEA, the DA expresses general support for the bill. However, we recommend that a systemic reforms be introduced, such as the following. Of course, the definition of agricultural extension workers to be expanded to include individuals qualified through the expanded tertiary education equivalency and accreditation program of CHED. And extension services must involve actors across the entire agri-fishery value chain. Additionally, the bill should institutionalize ATI's Regional Training Center under the new agency. Kasi doon sa bill, sir, parang maliit na siya. We would like for continuity and regional presence as well. A well-defined governance structure must be established to clarify the role of PAFOS, the RFOs, and PAFEA to avoid redundancy and prevent politicization of appointments. Professionalizing the agricultural extension workforce is also very critical. This includes establishing standard qualification, secure career path, and tenure protection. A structured transition plan based on capacity assessment is necessary to avoid service disruption during institutional changes. Furthermore, fisheries extension should be fully integrated by coordinating with agencies such as the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, the National Fisheries Research Development Institution, and Southeast Asia Fisheries Development Center. Additional provisions should ensure standardized incentives, legal support for agricultural extension workers, and the gradual piloting of farmer-to-farmer extension models supported by robust monitoring and evaluation framework. That's for extension, sir.
Thank you. For co-ops,
So for the agricultural cooperatives po, Senate Bill numbers 389 and 1183, on SB numbers 389 and 1183, which seeks to advance the role of agricultural cooperatives, the Department of Agriculture generally supports the overall direction of the bills. However, we recommend that refinements be necessary to ensure clarity and alignment with existing cooperative laws. First, the definitions and scope must be clearly outlined to identify agricultural cooperatives as those with at least 50% of operations in agriculture or agri-related sectors. The proposal to establish a national federation of agricultural cooperatives is welcomed, but membership should remain voluntary. In line with the Cooperative Code or RA 9520 and constitutional guarantees, it is equally important to retain the Cooperative Development Authority CDA core mandate over cooperative registration and regulation, while the DA should focus on policy formulation, capacity building, and technical support. The bill should also explicitly recognize cooperative activities in digital agriculture, climate-smart technologies, and other emerging sectors as legitimate business areas. Membership guidelines must be clarified, particularly regarding the verification through the registry system for basic sectors in agriculture, RSBSA, to ensure that intended beneficiaries are properly targeted. And also, the proposed Bureau of Agricultural Cooperatives must be harmonized with the existing Agriculture Cooperative Enterprise Development Service, or ACEDS, under the DA to avoid duplication and bureaucratic overlap. Similarly, performance reporting requirements should be aligned with the CDA's Cooperative Annual Performance Report, or CAPR, to streamline compliance and avoid redundancy. ACEDS was established precisely to strengthen and coordinate government support for agricultural cooperatives and fisheries associations. It plays a vital role in transforming farmers and fisherfolk organizations into resilient, market-oriented cooperatives by institutionalizing and harmonizing government support system. This transform Transformation is intended to boost agricultural productivity, enhance resilience, and contribute meaningfully to the national economic growth and sustainable development. A key strategy under DA is the Farm and Fisheries Clustering and Consolidation, or the FTC2 program, which organizes farmers and fisherfolk into commodity-based clusters that share resources, inputs, and markets. These clusters, composed of organized groups, registered or business enterprises, benefit from economies of scale and improve competitiveness. The collaboration between the F2C2 program and the ASEDS directly aligns with the objectives of the proposed Bureau of Agricultural Cooperatives, emphasizing the need for institutional harmonization to maximize efficiency and impact. While current cooperative registration frameworks tend to focus on traditional structures such as credit, marketing, or multipurpose cooperatives, there is a growing need to support cooperatives that operate along with full agri-fishery value chain, including input provision, production, post-harvest processing, marketing, and export. To ensure that cooperatives remain transformative and competitive, the Philippine Cooperative Code must evolve to reflect these expanded functions. The vision for the Bureau of Agricultural Cooperatives should center on fostering a value chain-driven cooperative sector in which cooperatives are not merely producers of raw goods, but strategic players across the entire agri-fishery value chain. This model ensures fair value distribution, increase competitiveness, and sustainable livelihoods for members. In line with this, cooperative registration should reflect the nature of the cooperative's business, including agriculture, fisheries, and allied sectors such as input supply, logistics, processing, packaging, digital platforms, agritourism, and export facilitation.
Director Alfon, maybe you can just proceed with the highlights before we wrap up, no?
Okay po. So, actually po, ang ginagawa lang po namin dito ay, yun nga po, harmonization ng ASEDS with the BAEC. And of course po, meron po kasing yung hinahawakan po natin na unit, yung F2C2. Baka po, the bill can institutionalize ko po kung paano yung whole of government approach on the BAEC.
Kasama dyan din yung PAFES, no? Yung provincial.
Bureau of Fisheries?
Yes. Di ba? May provincial level.
Yes po.
That should likewise be incorporated dun sa measure, di ba? Yeah.
Well noted po.
Pakisabit na lang please, ma'am, nung director nung inyong position also to the
Yes po.
committee secretary. May we hear from ULAP? Dito muna tayo sa LGUs, pati ang League of Provinces at yung
League of Provinces, sir.
League of Municipal, yung LEMCAP, diba? Kayo ang direktang magiging beneficiaryo rito at kayo rin ang direktang makikipag ugnayan dito sa ganitong, lalo na yung extension service, no? Go ahead, ULAP and the League. Go ahead.
Yes, I am the Executive Director of the League of Provinces of the Philippines. I'm speaking on behalf of Governor Reynaldo Estamaya Jr. of the North Cotabato. He is the National President of the League of Provinces of the Philippines. The LPP, or the League of Provinces of the Philippines, supports the legislative initiative towards strengthening the Agricultural Training Institute, or ATI, into Philippine Agriculture and Fisheries Extension Agency, or PAFEA. We have 6 recommendations, sir. As part of the strengthening of the agricultural extension programs of the local government level, we proposed retraining the employment and deployment of agricultural workers within the city municipal government where they are currently involved. Number 2, in order to strengthen the local extension program, we support the proposition under Section 13 of SB 1182 for the province through the Provincial Agriculture and Fisheries Office to coordinate the planning and monitoring extension services. Towards this end, we propose an amendment to the provision of the Local Government Code, which will grant the PAFU, or the Provincial Agriculture and Fisheries Office, upon authority of the provincial governor, direct supervision over the city municipal agriculture and fisheries office, including the agricultural and fisheries extension workers. Number 3, in order to simplify and strengthen the National Agriculture and Fisheries Extension Service, we propose the following implementation framework. For the Department of Agriculture, to identify the National Development Plan for Agriculture and Fisheries, which shall identify the goals and objectives for the sector in both the short and medium terms. For the PAFE, PAFE, as the apex organization for agriculture and fishery extension in the country, to conduct relevant research and provide the necessary and relevant training for agriculture development workers. And for the provincial government to come up with the strategic plan, and this is the concern of the legal province of the Philippines, that will identify the relevant and specific agricultural and fisheries priorities to be implemented within the province. And for D, the provincial strategic plan on agriculture and fisheries shall be derived the respective implementation plans of the municipal or city government. For barangays, with the guidance of the ADW or the agriculture development workers or ADWs, to prepare an action plan. To ensure the consistency of local plans with the overall national direction and priorities, the preparation of the respective local plans shall adopt an interactive approach. Likewise, to ensure multi-sectorality, the strategic implementation and action plans shall be prepared by the respective local development councils for inclusion in the comprehensive development plans and support unapproved by the local Sungunian to ensure funding support. 4, to ensure the effectivity of the implementation plans at the city or municipal levels, the Provincial Agriculture and Fisheries Office should be empowered to conduct regular monitoring on the expected outputs identified in the local development plans. Whereas the DA, the Department of Agriculture, shall conduct regular evaluation on whether the strategies identified in the provincial plans have resulted in the expected outcome as planned. Number 5, relative to Section 20 on the managerial positions for agriculture services in the LGUs, the LPP supports the creation of the plantilla positions for this. However, it maintains its reservation towards making this position mandatory. Nevertheless, with the authorization of both the Civil Service Commission and Department of Budget and Management for LGUs to create the position of the PAFU, the Assistant PAFU for Fisheries Development, the Assistant PAFU for Agriculture Development, City Agriculturist and Fisheries Officer, and Municipal Agriculturist and Fisheries Officer, and LGU which requires this personnel for the effective implementation of the respective agricultural and fisheries programs may employ the same in accordance with the qualification standard set for the position. And number 6, this is the last one. In order to achieve the ideal ratio of extension workers to farmers, fisher folks, and agricultural processors, the DA through the PAFE will deploy AFTs whose salaries are paid for by the national government to the municipalities identified by the PAFU as needing augmentation. The deployment may be fixed for a period until such time that the municipality is able to hire additional locally paid ADWs or agriculture development workers. These are the comments of the legal province of the Philippines to Governor Reynaldo Estamayo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ed, no? Ed?
Hindi po, Executive Director po.
Sorry. Jomar.
Yes, sir.
Executive Director Jomar. Yung LEMCAP, meron na ba? Go ahead. You have the floor.
Mr. Chair,
I think isang concern ninyo yung nabanggit sa akin yung salary grades, no, ng national tsaka ng local, of course among others, no, but go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Chair. The League of Municipal Agricultural Officers, Municipal and City Agriculturists of the Philippines expresses its full support for the intent of Senate Bill 1182 to strengthen the agricultural extension system as a vital mechanism in achieving food security, rural development, and farmer empowerment. However, after thorough consultation among members and stakeholders, several key issues and recommendations have been raised to ensure that the bill's implementation truly addresses the realities faced by agricultural extension workers on the ground. The Article 1, LAMCAP recognizes the importance of clearly defining the policy direction and scope of the proposed AE agricultural extension system. To strengthen Article 1, the following points and suggested actions are respectfully submitted. Clarify and strengthen the policy declaration. The bill should explicitly recognize AEWs as the frontline service providers in the delivery of agricultural programs at the local level. And then alignment with professional regulatory laws. The terms agriculturist, agricultural engineer, veterinarian, fisheries professional, and agricultural extension worker should be harmonized with existing PRL such as RA 12215, Philippine Agriculturist Act, RA 10915, Agricultural and Biosystem Engineering Act, RA 9268, Veterinary Medicine Act, and RA 10690, Forestry Profession Act. AEWs must include all personnel, plantilla, and contract of service performing extension duties under DA, ATI, LGUs, and other partner agencies. And for the Article 2, the structure and organization, inclusion of LAMCAP in the council to represent as well as in the planning and evaluation processes since kami po yung talagang nasa grassroots po. Must have a clear delineation to maintain the autonomy of municipality and city agriculture offices on the ground. Clear delineation of functions between PAFEA, RFOs, and the LGUs. The goal is to complement, not to duplicate or overlap. And for dito po sa local government extension services, medyo nagkaroon po kami ng kalituhan dito, Mr. Chair, if magkakaroon ba, yung kasi dito ay parang ang mga AEWs from the local government will i-transfer doon po sa provincial government. O ang central ba ay, or is this another organizational structure na makikreate po? Kasi if this is a new organizational structure, we fully support. But if this is, we will be we already come from the LGU and then we will transfer again to same LGU, parang naano lang po. So, yun po yung bigyan naming linaw kapag ang central ay magkikreate sila ng DARFO and then province ng DA din, we will fully support that, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we note that. Thank you. Okay?
Yes, yun lang.
Okay.
And yun po,
Pero, okay.
Mr. Chair.
Maraming salamat. We now go to DOST because the others, like CDA, nabigyan ninyo yung position papers ninyo, no? But we can continue, if you want to highlight it later on, we will have from the private sector, from NGOs, and then we can have anyone who wishes to make manifestations, please just recognize the chair. Go ahead, DOST, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Hello. Ian. Good morning, Senator Pangilinan and Senator Tulfo. I am Tessa Lantican from the DOST Picard on behalf of our Executive Director, Dr. Reynaldo Evora. So DOST Picard fully supports the bills, Senate Bill number 389 and 1183, and later on my colleague Sir Alex Borja will deliver our position paper on Senate Bill number 1182. DOST Picard fully supports the bills as we recognize the vital role of cooperatives in providing smallholder farmers, fisherfolk, and rural households with better access to markets, financing, technologies, and organizational support. We particularly support the inclusion of DOST under Section 35 within the Agricultural Cooperatives Council, as this is aligned with initiatives of the DOST Picard that promote cooperative development as part of its inclusive innovation and agribusiness programs. In fact, the Council has been implementing the Agri-Aqua Business Hub, or AABH, which has emerged as a platform for building stronger, more resilient, and market-ready cooperatives. Through our initiatives in AABH, we have linked farmer and fisherfolk groups with institutional buyers, enabling them to secure more stable markets, expand production, and capture greater value. Beyond market linkages, AEBH has also supported cooperatives in strengthening their organizational and enterprise capacities, including training on agribusiness management, financial literacy, and good production practices. I believe that the experience of AABH can be harnessed to support the implementation of the proposed act, particularly in the operations of the LDH or Local Development Hubs under Section 28. Our tested models in market linkage facilitation, capacity building programs, digital innovations, and value chain coordination can serve as a ready-to-scale mechanisms for operationalizing the provisions of the proposed law. And aside from that, our other specific comments is to ensure institutional coherence. The proposed bills should clearly define how it will integrate, harmonize, and coordinate with existing DA offices to avoid overlap, maximize resources, and streamline support services for cooperatives. Second is to strengthen provisions on loans and grants. This should be paired with financial literacy, enterprise management, and digital finance training, as well as safeguards and alternative collateral systems to ensure responsible borrowing and sustainable growth. Third is to ensure strategic placement of wholesale markets. While establishing one wholesale market per province can boost market access, it should first be piloted in selected provinces. Feasibility studies must guide placement to ensure logistical viability and market alignment. Fourth is to clarify fund allocation and transparency. The Cooperative Climate Resilience Fund should have a clear allocation criteria, a defined management structure, and transparency mechanisms to ensure that resources effectively support climate resilient and sustainable cooperative initiatives. And lastly, facilitate hands-on learning and technology diffusion. So establish community-based training centers and demo forums with SUCs, DOST, DA, DTI, and TESDA to promote practical learning and adoption of proven technologies. Also develop certification programs to enhance skills in enterprise and innovation management. And I will just call on Sir Borja for the extension system.
Just the highlights, no, Mr. Borja. We still have a few more presentations,
Yes,
and then have it submitted. Go ahead, sir.
good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Chair and Senator Tulfo. I am Alexander Borja from DOST Picard. And for the information of the committee, we have already submitted our position paper for Senate Bill 1182. And allow me to read our general position for the said bill. So at the onset, we support the proposed Agriculture and Fisheries Extension Act of 2025, as Picard continuously strives to strengthen our extension initiatives in pursuit of inclusive, technology-driven rural development. And through our different key extension modalities, Picard bridges research outputs with real-world applications across diverse communities. So this includes S&T-based farm. So this demonstrates tested technologies in individual or small groups farms to increase productivity through direct application of R&D outputs. We have also S&T community-based farm or STCBF. So this promotes wider adoption of technologies through organized community farms, empowering LGUs and farmer organizations to co-manage S&T interventions. We also have S&T community-based for inclusive development or STC4ID. So these are focused on marginalized areas, and it bridges technology information. So particularly, it aims to alleviate poverty and build empowered communities. So we have projects like in Marawi, in Sulu, in Basilan. We also have food value chain. So this enhances production and value-adding activities for improved food resiliency, demonstrating technology convergence using supply and value chain approaches. And we also have science for the convergence of agriculture and tourism, or what we call SciCat. So this promotes sustainable S&T-based farming and integrated with agritourism in partnerships with LGUs, SUCs, and the Department of Tourism. We also have S&T Action Frontline for Emergencies and Hazards, or SAFE. So this provides rapid S&T-based interventions during agricultural emergencies and hazards through the safe IWAS or risk reduction, safe ligtas or rehabilitation, and safe rescue or the pest and disease management. So, and lastly, we also have the inclusive science for livelihood in Agri-Aqua or our ISLA modality. So this implements S&T-based livelihood intervention in small island communities, fostering sustainability and strengthening multi-sectoral partnerships. So further, we support the inclusion of the DOST in the composition of the Council for Extension, Research, and Development in Agriculture and Fisheries, or CERDAF, to foster stronger multi-sectoral partnerships. That's all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. DepDev, do you have a position paper? Have you submitted it?
Yes, sir. We submitted last November 13.
Yes.
It was signed by our secretary.
Just highlights.
Yes,
Do
just
you-
at a highlight for the extension services. DepDev recently conducted a devolution study to examine the fiscal impacts of reassigning devolved functions, services, and facilities. Based on the result of the study, it is proposed that devolved agriculture extension services be retained in the cities, but fully reassigned from those from municipalities to provinces. So, for the
Retained sa cities
Sa
because
cities,
they're capacitated.
yes, sir.
But then,
for the municipalities, we reassigned in the provinces due to fiscal
okay,
capacity.
which means you support subject to excluding the cities because
Yes.
they are capacitated.
Yes, sir.
The provinces and the municipalities. Yes, okay, that's good.
For the agricultural cooperative, I'll just be highlighting that, we recommend to consider the principles laid out in the Government Optimizing Act. So, in designing organizational structure that enable effective and efficient and economical program implementation. For this, DepDev is ready to assist in designing the framework needed to strengthen cooperative governance and support systems. That's all, sir.
Okay, thank you. And the DA, would you have your, DAR, sorry, the DAR.
Good morning, Mr. Chair.
Morning, good morning.
Morning, Senator Tulfo. For that, we haven't submit our position paper, but just want to manifest.
Sure, please.
Yes po.
Yung
we are-
highlights lang para
Yes po,
on
mabilis
record
lang.
tayo.
We understand po that the DAR is mentioned as one of the agencies that will allocate resources to agricultural cooperative to enhance the viability and market competitiveness. So from this po, we can infer that the intention of the bill is to include cooperatives assisted by DAR, specifically our Agrarian Reform cooperatives. However, since the members of these cooperatives are mostly farmers awarded land by virtue of agrarian laws, they are confusingly referred to or categorized as agricultural cooperatives po. We raise apprehension concerning the foregoing inference po. Although the above-mentioned type of cooperative is composed of farmers, it may not be considered as an agricultural cooperative under the definition provided in the bill. As an excerpt of the definition states that primary business activity is at least 50% related to agricultural production, agro-industry, agribusiness, or services related to agricultural production, which most of our agrarian reform cooperatives do not meet the definition because we have a special definition for under the Cooperative Act as agrarian reform cooperative po. So yung
Why
po-
is that? Why are they not qualified?
kasi some of the functions po kasi ng aming agricultural cooperative, like for example, some of them would develop appropriate system for land tenure, land development, land consolidation. So hindi naman po talaga agricultural production per se yung 50%. So ang apprehension lang po namin, baka pag hindi po isali yung agrarian reform cooperative sa definition, hindi po sila maka-avail ang ating cooperatives ng mga tax exemption, ng mga mga prioritization sa pag-grant ng loan and other po services na nakasama po sa bill.
Please provide us your proposed
Opo.
amendment. No?
Yes po.
Okay.
Ang
Mr. Chair, pwede makasingit?
Apo,
Go ahead,
yes.
go ahead.
Napaganda yung sinabi ni Mr.
James po,
James.
Ponce.
Yeah, kasi kayo ay nagbibigay ng titulo sa mga farmers para maging sa kanila na yung lupa dahil kulang sa support. Walang backup. Halimbawa, isang farmers binigyan nyo ng titulo, lupa, para sakahin niya, pero wala siyang kakayahan, meaning wala siyang pera. Kaya nangyayari, Mr. Che, kadalasan, yun ay pinaparenta niya o in some cases, binibenta pa niya. So, dapat meron kayong monitoring system na that should not happen. So, in this case, meron kooperatiba, binanggit mo, na para doon makakuha siya ng support system. Doon sa kooperatiba, doon po siya makapag-loan, mabigay sa kanya mga kailangan para yung sakahan, yung binigay sa kanya, magamit niya. You have that kind of program?
Yes po, meron po, Senator.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Continue, please.
Yun lang po yung aming sir, manifestation
Okay.
that sana po to include agrarian reform cooperatives dun po sa buong bill po so that inclusive na po yung kasama po, hindi lang po agricultural cooperatives per se.
Okay, makasingit pa ulit, Mr. Chair. So, kailangan ko po monitoring kasi dumadami yung ganong klase mga senaryo, Mr. Chair, na yung mga farmers na nabibigyan ng lupa ng title, hindi nila gagamit, hindi nila nasasaka, bagkus yun ay pinaparenta nila. You are aware of that kind of scenario?
Yes po, yes.
And what
yes,
do you
Senator.
do about that kapag binibenta ng farmers o pinaparenta na supposed to dapat kaya binigay sa kanya para siya yung magsasaka dun?
Supposed to be po, under our guidelines po, yung pong nagbenta dapat po na po sila yes po, tanggalin na po.
At dapat din niya pinaparenta.
Pag ang
If it's a
pinaparenta
purpose,
po,
dapat sila mismo yung magtitil ng land.
sa rental naman po, allowed po siya.
Allowed?
Yung selling lang po. Like for example, mag-cotil po sila.
Pero
Like
it's
actually,
better na we
yes.
would encourage them na sila mismo magtitil ng
Yes
land.
po,
As
dapat
opposed
po
to ipaparenta nila. Paano kung nabalasubas yung lupa na pinarenta nila?
Normally, sir, kasi that's why we encourage our CLOA holders and EP holders to become member of our Agrarian Reform Cooperatives para ma-ensure po natin yung collective farming na through our Agrarian Reform Cooperatives po.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay, unless there are other government agencies. Yes, DBM, go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Senator Tulfo. For the DBM po, we would like to manifest the following. On agricultural cooperative po, we note po Section 23 on the creation of Cooperative Climate Resilience Fund. It will include both government and private sector funds po. So, magkakaroon po ng commingling and we defer to COA kung paano po yung monitoring of funds. And of course, this is it seems na earmarking po ito since nilagay po dito is 50% should come from the government po. And on the Section 24 po on the creation of Bureau of Agricultural Cooperatives, we note po yung ating government optimization program. So baka po ito ay makonsider po ng DA under the said program po.
Okay.
And on Senate Bill number 1182 po, we would like to manifest our major concerns po regarding this bill. First, if the agricultural extension workers are considered LGU employees po, yung organization structure and yung creation ng offices po will be dependent upon the capacity of the LGUs. Kung kaya po nilang sweldohan po yon. Since meron po tayong local government autonomy, hindi po natin pwedeng pondohan po yun from the national government.
No, the intention really is it's a national government extension service. So therefore, national government will fund it.
So they will be national government employees po,
Yes,
Mr. Chair?
yes.
Okay po. However po, yung earmarking po, may earmarking of funds din po dito on the appropriations provisions, and we also differ po sa DOF and DOF-BLGF on the fiscal impact. If these will be NG employees, hindi po natin alam yung extent po kung ilan po itong mga agricultural extension workers na kailangan pong sweldohan po ng national government. Plus yung mga compensation po natin, we have standard compensations po for employees. Thank you po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you very much, DBM. So we can now open the floor to the manifestations. We already had the inputs of some of our private sector, but feel free to add, no? Kasi yung last hearing natin, nagsalita na yung ating mga civil society, NGOs, and private sector organizations. But before that, DNR, do you have a position on the matter?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe our positions from the DNR were
Okay.
already submitted last
Okay,
December.
good. Sige, thank you.
Mr. Chair, can I?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Before I sign off, kasi meron pa ako isang
Sure,
pupunta.
sure, please. You have the floor, Senator Rafi.
This one, may mga nakausap ako mga members ng mga kooperatiba. Siguro, we have to amend the RCEP law para mag-tailor fit doon sa mga gustong mangyari ng mga farmers natin. Because right now, ang binibigay karamihan ng mga seeds, Mr. Chair, ay inbred. So, ang gusto ng maraming farmers ay hybrid. So, ang nangyayari, hindi ko kailangan tong inbred, gusto ko hybrid. Binibenta ng mga farmer yung inbred para makabili sila ng hybrid. It doesn't make sense. So, I think we have to change that.
RTL.
Sa RTL?
Yes.
Yeah, para kung ano yung gusto ng farmers.
Yes, yung
Kung gusto nila ng hybrid. Kung gusto nila inbred, then so be it. Inbred bibigay sa'yo. Kaya lang, karamihan sa mga farmers, they like hybrid kasi mas malaki ang production on versus sa inbred. Inbred, mapapakinabangan mo lang siguro dahil matibay, pag magbagyo, it can withstand some bad weather. Pero more often than not, the farmers would like to have inbred, hybrid seeds. So that is something siguro, Mr. Chair, pagtutuunan natin.
Yes, we'll take that into consideration as we amend the rice tariffication measure. Nakailang hearing na ba tayo? Dalawa, no? Yeah. Ilang TWG? Wala pa. So we are now going into the TWG for the amendments to the RTL. And we will take the input of Senator Rafi into consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, CDA and then Mr. Ramos and Mr. Ordonez and Camp. Sinag, no? Sinag? Camp. Okay, go ahead.
Sir, good
CDA.
morning once again po. The CDA is generally supporting the bills as stated, and as we share the aspiration of the bills, which are geared towards the development, promotion, protection of the agriculture sector, strengthening the national agriculture and fisheries extension system, and the creation of AgriCom. The authority finds that they align with the declared policy of the state under RA 11364 and RA 9520 to foster the creation and growth of cooperatives as practical vehicle for promoting self-reliance and harnessing people power towards the attainment of economic development and social justice as enshrined in Article 12 of Section 15 of 1987 Constitution. Specifically, would like to state the following salient recommendations of the Cooperative Development Authority. First, as to avoid regulatory fragmentation, sir. On Section 4, on registration and supervision Senate Bills 389 and 1183, the Agricultural Cooperatives Act. Section 4 of the proposed bills designate the DA as the regulatory agency to exercise primary supervision over the NFAC. This provision runs counter to Section 4, letter F of the Republic Act RA or RA number 11364, which grants to the CDA the power to exercise supervision and jurisdiction over all types and categories of cooperatives registered with the authority. On Section 21, on supervision and control, the provision grants the DA the power of supervision and control over the NFAC. Likewise, NFAC was granted the same power over its member primary agricultural cooperatives. The authority respectfully submits that this is contrary to some of the universally accepted cooperative principles, such as democratic control and autonomy and independence, which confer to members the control over the affairs of their cooperative.
Hence, it is respectfully recommended that the DA and the NFAC be granted only the power of supervision but not control over the Federation and member primary agricultural cooperatives, respectively. Particularly on Section 6 of Senate Bills numbers 1345 and 1199, the authority respectfully reiterates the recommendation in our previously submitted position paper dated 17 August 2025 for the inclusion of a reconvening clause in order for the recommendations of the Agricom be fully implemented or sustained in the long run and ensure a lasting impact, as well as the clarification on the proposed bill as to who will take charge of the monitoring and implementation of the reforms and recommendations to be made by the Agricom, and also the representation of the National Alliance of Cooperatives and the sectoral apex and regional clustered organizations on matters involving cooperatives. Meron po tayong sectoral apex organization for agriculture cooperatives and regional clustered organizations at all regions po for agricultural cooperatives. And lastly, on Section 11 of Senate Bill number 1182, the authority respectfully recommends that the agriculture and fisheries cooperatives be properly represented in the SERDAF. By the way, sir, if we say agricultural cooperatives, we include Agrarian Reform cooperatives also. In recognition of their participation and efforts towards the development of the agriculture and fisheries sector, and also to ensure their inclusion in the development and extension policies and programs provided under the proposed bill. Maraming salamat po. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat.
Maraming salamat. Okay, we have Mr. Ramos ng KMP, and then Mr. Ordonez and Mr. Belen. Okay, go ahead.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman. Magandang umaga po, mga kababayan. Danilo Ramos po, tagapangulo ng KMP, rice farmer, vegetable farmers at saka fruit trees. May tanim po kaming part ng bahay kubo, sitaw, bataw, patani. Salamat po.
Saan ho ang inyong sakahan?
Sa lungsod po ng Malolos, sa lalawigan ng Bulacan.
Gaano kalaki po?
Dati po, 1.3. Katunayan po, dala ko yung CLT. Pero ngayon po, namumuwisan, mas maliit. Anyway, dalawang mahalagang punto po, Mr. Chairman, mga kababayan. Nabasa ko po panimula yung Senate Bill 1183. So, magbibigay po ako ng inisyal na pagtingin at rekomendasyon, pati na po yung kanina sa kaugnay ng RSBSA. Pero, Mr. Chairman, gusto ko pong simulan, dun sa binanggit nyo kanina, napakahalaga po yon sa introduksyon. Ang sabi nyo, kapos ang kita ng mga magsasaka, hindi productive, nabebenta ang lupa at nasasanla. Ang sabi po ni Senator Rapi kanina ay dapat progress of agriculture sector. Nais ko pong banggitin, patungkol po sa inyong panukalang dapat po merong tatlong ikukonsidera tungkol po doon sa cooperative. Mahalaga po makita natin ano yung basic problem. Siyempre po, bukod sa lupa, 7 out of 10 farmers, hindi pag-aari ang lupa. 4 farmers out of 7, nangihiram po sa usura, usurero. Ngayon, yung pong una, kailangan po, sana related sa production cooperative. Ibig ko pong sabihin, bago maging palay, hindi naman po lingid sa inyo, araro, suyod, binhi, upang tanim, kung direct seeding, o sabog tanim, o dapog. Sa madalit sabi po, ang laki ng gastos. Sa case study po namin, 60,000 pesos sa Isabela at saka po Central Luzon. So, inuutang po yon. So, mahalaga po yung cooperative related sa production. Pangalawa po, dapat ay yung magagamit ng magsasaka. Siyempre po, una, dapat tulong sa magsasaka kasi baon na po sa utang. Kung meron man na loan, para po hindi lumapit kami sa mga usurero, siyempre po, maliit ang tubo. Ngayon po, ang laki. Imagine po, pag nanghiram kami ng 500 pesos sa usurero, 2 kabans ng palay, equivalent to 100 kilos. Pangatlo po, may kaugnayan sa consumer. Ibig sabihin po, yung ginagamit sa araw-araw ng mga magsasaka, siyempre po, yung basic, no, bigas, kape, etc., related po roon. Alam niyo po, napakarami ng cooperative. At remember, Senator, panahon po ni Governor Obet Pagdanganan, gobernador namin, pinakamaraming cooperative sa Bulacan, sa buong bansa. Ang tanong, umunlad ba ang buhay? Gusto ko pong banggitin yung kaninang sinabi niyo, bakit kapos ang kita? Para maintindihan. Una, bukod po sa land problem, yun po yung usura. Walang significant production subsidy na natatanggap ang magsasaka, agri-workers, fisherfolk. Pangatlo po ay walang kompensasyon. Kanina pinag-uusapan natin ang kalamidad. Yung pong insurance, mumulang po natatanggap. Kaya ano po ibig kong sabihin? Para po palakasin, ang sabi ni Senator, progress of agriculture sector, tingin ko po, bukod sa lupa, sa nagbubungkal, production subsidy, tingin po namin, Mr. Chair, mga kababayan, at least 50,000 pesos per hectare sa rice farmer. At sa kompensasyon, at least 80,000 pesos doon sa mga rice farmer. Bakit? Yun po ay supposedly 80 kabans yung average yield. Kaya po yung pinag-uusapan po natin, napakahalaga ngayon. Maliit lang po. Kanina po, RSBSA, Mr. Chairman, nakadalo po ako sa dating hearing natin. Ang sabi po, only 60% out of 100 ang nasa RSBSA. Kanina po, pinakinggan ko, nagsimula 2019, Mr. Chair, mga kababayan. 2019 po, 2026 na. Ilang taon yan? More than 6 years. Napasa ko po yung co-audited report, nakatanggap ang patay, GOS, pero yun pong mga buhay, hindi nakatanggap. So, napakahalaga po talaga na bigyang pansin yung totoo na para makamit natin yung food self-sufficiency, Mr. Chair, narito po sa inyong intro, mahalaga pong mabigyang pansin yung nabanggit ko. Siyempre, hindi naman po lingid sa inyo ang aming pong lalawigan ng epicenter ng GOS project. Grabe po yan. Kaya ang ano po namin, yung tulong dapat natatanggap. Kaya dapat managot yung mga, tawag doon, mastermind at may kagagawan. Panguli, nakita ko po, Mr. Chair, dito po sa Chapter 8, Agricultural Cooperatives Council, ang dami pong member, karamihan, department, pero meron po doong ilan kinatawan sa mga magsasaka. Parang 2, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Tapos po, yung pang-definition ng Federation of Cooperative, nakalagay po rito, agribusiness. Mahalaga pong banggitin, malaman nyo, ang average po ngayon, less than 1 hectare, ang rice farmer, lumiliit. Yung pong agribusiness, hindi po yun maliliit na magsasaka at mangingisda. Malalaki po yun, thousands of hectares. Ngayon, dahil ang pinag-uusapan po natin, Mr. Chair, mga kababayan, ay pagkain, dapat po makonsider yung nabanggit ko, last point. Kanina po, pinag-uusapan, namimigay ng titulo. Ito po, Exhibit A. Alam nyo, Mr. Chair, 40 years na po akong mahigit sa pagsasaka. Ito po yung CLT namin, 1.3 hectares. Ang naibayad na po namin is more than 50,000 pesos. Ang halaga po ng PD27 is 11,600 plus only. Pero alam nyo, may kaso po yung aming pamilya, ejectment. So, at marami pong nangyayaring ganyan. Kahit may EP, CLT at CLOA, napapaalis. Kaya po, mahalaga po talaga, Mr. Chair, na bigyan ng totoong pansin. Hindi po performance, performative. For projection, malamang, alam nyo, kahapon po, nakita ko, galing kayo ng inquiry sa Bacolod. Nabanggit nyo po doon na yung halaga nung sa sugar, Bilang panghuli, alam nyo, Mr. Chair, ang Pilipinas po is #1 rice importer sa buong mundo. Mahigit 4 million metric tons ang inaangkat natin. Pero agricultural land po tayo. Ang tingin po namin, nakadalo po ako sa isa, gusto kong banggitin, Mr. Chair, mga kababayan, panahon na po para ang Republic Act 11203 hindi pwedeng amendments. Repeal, sa halip po, palakasin ang lokal na produksyon ng pagkain, hindi importasyon. At lastly, magkaugnay po, Mr. Chair, mga kababayan, genuine agrarian reform and national industrialization ang susi sa pag-unlad ng ating mga kababayan. At kailangan po protection and preservation ng mga natitirang lupain sa ating bansa. Kung hindi po, delikado po tayo. So, ang issue po ng magsasaka at pag-unlad ng agrikultura ay issue ng taong bayan. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair, at ihahabol po namin yung aming position paper sa komite pagkatapos po nito. Maraming salamat po.
Salamat, Ginoong Ramos. Alam nyo na nabanggit nyo yung mga suporta sa ating mga magsasaka. Galing lang ako ng Taiwan noong November. At ang budget ng Taiwanese government para sa agrikultura taon-taon ay $6 billion. 23 million lang ang populasyon nila. Tayo, 115 million, ang budget ng agrikultura natin, $5 billion. So, kahit saan mo tingnan, ba't tayo magtataka kung ba't mataas ang presyo ng pagkain, bakit kapos ang ating mga magsasaka at mangingisda sa usapin ng kanilang kabuhayan, kung gano'n na lang, diba? Pero in fairness, as we go along, isusulong natin, kaya rin natin tinanggap at kinuha itong Committee on Agriculture dahil ako'y naniniwala dapat bago magtapos ng 2028, maaabot na ng ₱250 billion minimum. Yan ang ipaglalaban natin. Ang agrikultura at ang pondong yan, ang bulto ng pondong yan ay dapat mauwi sa direktang pagsuporta sa pagbibigay ng kapasidad at lakas at kakayahan ang ating magsasaka at mangingisda. So yun ang ating at para maisagawa ito. In fact, during the budget hearing ng DepDev, sumang-ayon ang inyong sekretary na malaking problema ng sektor ng agrikultura sa usapin ng structural reforms, sa usapin ng regulatory capture, sa usapin ng mapang-api at mapagsamantalang mga relasyon sa hanay ng mga magsasaka, mangingisda, mga trader at mga nasa burokrasya. Kaya talagang hindi natin maaaring talikuran itong tungkulin natin dahil sa huling banda, lahat tayo kumakain 3 beses sa isang araw. Kung may merienda, 4 pa. Kung may midnight snack, 5 beses tayo kumakain araw-araw. At lahat yan ay dahil ang nagpapakain sa atin ay yung ating mga magsasaka at mangingisda. Kaya we share your concern and maraming salamat sa inyong inputs. Ginoong Ordonez, go ahead.
Magandang umaga po. Unang-una, maraming salamat. Taus-puso na magpapasalamat kami sa iyo kasi for the first time in history, ulitin natin, for the first time in history, nakakita tayo ng malaking addition from 212, 297 billion, which is 40%. So thank you, sir. Ngayon, alam po ninyo, ako'y nag-attend dito, nag-attend ako sa TWG, pero bago ang sasabihin ko ngayon, I'll say something new. Just to put the perspective, the senator talked about the Taiwan budget. Alam mo, we don't need more money. We actually need more money, but we need more intelligence, all right? We have not been getting it, and that's why, for your information, okay, you know, Thailand and Vietnam way behind us. Just for you to know. Vietnam exported 62 billion, 62. Taiwan 52, Taiwan 9. That means we lack intelligence. Okay? Why do we lack intelligence? Because we let go of the 2 things he mentioned in his talk. He talked of his own experience Get these people, correct? Hirap makakuha ng extension. That's the first problem. Why not? And then there's no organizing, di ba? Di ba? So, today I'm going to give you information, which I gave at TWG, but more than that, I submitted something between that time and now, so I'll tell you about it. First of all, sinabi ko the last time, that we're in trouble because we have no extensions. I said it's the worst in Asia. I used to be kasi the Vice President of United Nations Trade and Development for Asia, UNCTAD, United Nations. And we have no consolidation. From 3 hectares now, tama ka, 0.9 hectares average, right? Walang consolidation. So what am I going to say that's something new? What I'm going to say that's something new is this. These 2 bills are correct, and they're a big improvement, but they still lack intelligence. Why? They lack intelligence because I was incidentally the flagship secretary of the Office of President Ramos, and I saw the departments, correct? I saw DTI that had provincial, NSDA that had no provincial. And I was the head of operations in both D and DTI as undersecretary, but then I became Office of the President. And therefore, I'd like to say this. I'll talk about both bills. Extension. What do we need? I just heard to Rizalina, the female representative of Jose Rizal, maybe, because she told the truth, she has intelligence. What did she say just now? And I asked her, narinig ko ba yung tama? She said, pagdating sa LGU, hindi ba she said she wanted this to be different? Kasi maraming politika dyan. Gusto ko, iba. What does that mean? You know, we believe province should lead it. But the reality is that's not happening. They hired the wrong people, they're not trained and all that stuff, right? And therefore, she had separate. So therefore, sir, in the bill as it stands, before maybe the amendments, it looks good, but it doesn't have the most important thing for which you, sir, moved because you got 200-some million, which you announced here, to be given. We cannot rely, okay, on some Manila bureau coordinating provinces. We gotta get people in there. How do they do that? Ladies and gentlemen, DA does that. They have something called Bureau of Fisheries and Agricultural Resources. I was in operations also. They moved. All the rest don't move the region. They cannot move the province, right? So therefore, sir, if this passes, we've lost an opportunity. It's correct improvement. It's not enough. It needs more intelligence. What does intelligence mean? You cannot rely on some Manila bureaucracy to guide the province. You gotta have people there. BIFAR has it, all right? Okay? And how did they get it? Sir, they had the law do it. And I'm recommending that our law does that. Let's call a spade, right? If you say there's a bureau and they'll coordinate, I know from experience that does not work. I've been with the Federation of Farmers, I'm now with Alianza, you're my friends. It does not work. We don't get extension. You say you have a bureau thing and you got all these things, it will still not work. You gotta get people there. And actually, Rizalina, you can confirm that. She said, no, alam mo, puro politika yan. You need a separate group. Yeah, you need a separate group. Like BIFAR is separate there. If BIFAR can do it, why not extension? I mean, if you extension and you realize these bureaus and things, I will say you don't have intelligence. You've not learned. You've not learned. You've tried it, you've not learned. And therefore, sir, I want to support your idea because I think your idea is that people are there. I think you said that many times. If you rely on the way it's written right now, people are not there. You're coordinating people. That you don't have your own people. You have your own people. So therefore, I would like to recommend that you have a bureau. If you do it for fisheries, why don't you do it for extension? In all the provinces and countries, you will find out that the government is really intricately connected. You cannot do it through committees. As it stands, it is nice. What they say, it is necessary, but not sufficient. To be sufficient, you need intelligence, and intelligence tells us you need people there. You cannot rely on the goodwill of the locals because you've got to have control there. I still believe the local government should run agriculture, okay? But you need your own people to make sure they're not hiring political activists for their agriculture people or drivers or things like that. So, sir, my one and only and big recommendation is that you must do what I think you're talking about. You must have real control at the local level and do not rely on committees and guidelines of councils. These councils, they're nice, but they're not sufficient. Okay, so that's extension, okay? Now, therefore, to be honest, para madaling salita, you've got to have national in the local, not through guidance, but through people, right? Secondly, in terms of the cooperatives, I sent a paper there, okay? It was between the TV and now, maybe you have not seen it. But it says that, I also applaud your point here, no? On page 13, no? You said that you'll have local government hubs, no? Now the question is, if Thailand calls its Ministry of Agriculture, not Ministry of Agriculture, but Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives, does it not mean that you must give special emphasis, especially in RCEP? You know where I'm with the group. Kasama tayo. We postponed RCEP because we could not open our borders if there's corruption with no bad use of budget, etc., right? We need consolidation. If consolidation is important, do you know, sir, what we have today? Don't laugh. I think you should cry, not laugh. Do you know what? This very important idea of consolidation, where if you have no economies of scale, you cannot compete, right? You cannot. And we're global right now, no? We allowed RCEP to come in, but they promised us, sir, the Senate promised us, you're not there yet, but you support us. You cannot come in unless you have economies of scale, right? Okay, fine. So with this bill, kasi ito na naman, mga council na naman ito, council na naman ito, wala naman tao, may local hub, problema sa local hub, amot talaga. Sir, we'd like to, you make it stronger, local hub, but you must have things there to make sure that this gives emphasis. Now, just for you to cry, don't cry here, nakakaya, but don't cry. Okay? I will cry, because I've looked at the last 2 years. Because of our RCEP, our fight, they gave the budget for consolidation from 250 million. But do you know their staff is? One director, one assistant director, and 0 plantilla except for contract of services. So I looked at them. Mamma mia, what's happening here? It's terrible. So, sir, I think your 2 bills are the most important things. They actually are the answer to your story. Your story is that you ask for extension, tagal-tagal, wala na cooperate. We need both. But, sir, the devil is in the detail. The essence is correct. The detail is not there. The detail means intelligence. Intelligence means you must have people on the ground, not Manila, not central imperious Manila, on the ground, more than guidance. So, in the first one, make it a bureau down to the level. If not, you've got to have people there. In cooperatives, it's not enough, right, to have country of services of 10 people. Looking at Thailand devotes a lot of their energy to, and therefore you must have this as well. You must have on the ground. So if there are local hubs, the local hubs must be really people by people who are committed and have line to the central Philippine government. So I can say many things. The last thing I want to say, sir, is this. Of course, if you look at...
Please wrap up.
Okay, wrap up. By saying that there are many other things we've said, but we just want thing clear. You must have people on the ground for this bureau. If they can have legislation to make fisheries a bureau down to the ground, let's do this here. And for cooperatives, it's the same thing. We also give it a lot of emphasis. Thank you, sir.
Just for the information of Mr. Ordonez, precisely we want to bring extension service down to the grassroots, up to the municipal level. That's what we've been saying. Now you're saying maybe better that it be a bureau. Well, we're open to that. Whatever works. But the point here is the principle behind it is we have to be down in the grassroots. So we share the same concern there. Mr. Belen, you have the floor.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. Just to introduce, I'm Erwin Belen. I am a registered agriculturist. I'm doing extension work on the private sector, and also happens to be part of Coalition for Agriculture Modernization in the Philippines, or CAMP. Maybe just to run through our position with the bills on the floor. The Coalition for Agriculture Modernization in the Philippines strongly supports SB 11882, provided it's aligned also with the EO 103 to address to address institutional fragmentation. Our position focuses on this key transformative points. One, we advocate on upgrading ATI into Bureau of Agriculture and Fisheries Extension, or BAFEX. BAPEX would serve as a lead agency for a decentralized and pluralistic extension framework. We also propose institutionalizing province-led agriculture and fisheries extension systems, or PAPES, making the province the primary unit of operation. This includes placing municipal personnel under the technical supervision of the province to ensure coherent service delivery. Third, our core advocacy is on focusing on the farmers and to have a model designed to raise farmers' incomes that should be above poverty threshold levels. This is achieved through consolidation and cooperatives, and expanding extension services to include the broader rural community, such as the youth and homemakers. Maybe just to segue lang po, I'm also an agri-youth. Yung kanina pong usapan with RSBSA, ramdam ko rin po yung pinagdaanan ko doon dahil I had to register with RSBSA just to get a loan under ACPC. Also, our group is advocating on research and extension. We call for the reactivation of the Council for Extension Research Development in Agriculture and Fisheries, or CERDAF, to bridge the gap between research and actual practice. Lastly, we are also for professionalization and funding. So we support the higher standards for extension workers and a shared responsibility funding model where the national government provides matching grants to augment LGU budgets. So by adopting these reforms, we can transform extension services into a dynamic ecosystem that drives rural modernization and food security. Yun lang po. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Erwin. What do you plant?
Sorry po.
What are your crops? You said you're a young farmer.
We do vegetables.
Where is your farm?
In San Pablo City, Laguna.
San Pablo.
Yes, sir.
And what vegetables? Pakbet variety or?
Right now, we are planting leafy vegetables, but we do pakbet varieties.
So you do lettuce?
Yes po. Well, somehow, depende po sa season. Yes.
Well, now would be lettuce season.
Correct.
Because malamig.
Correct.
Yes. Okay, so thank you. Well, I guess that wraps up our public hearing. Yes, Director Recoter, go ahead.
Yeah, just 2 points, Mr. Chair.
How do you, well, mukhang binibigyan kayo ng dagdag na trabaho. Gusto gawin kayong bureau.
Yeah, ATI previously is Bureau of Agricultural Extension.
That's right. So, anyway, sige, go ahead.
Yeah. Just 2 points, Mr. Chair, on the concern of DBM on finances. We projected, if ever there will be a separate structure for the national, we projected about 20,954 agricultural extension workers with the ratio of 1:500, and this is still very high. Ideally, it should be 1:50 to 100 ratio of the farmers. But nonetheless, with this computation of 20,000 plus extension workers and then the province, municipal, we computed for the different incentives and of course salaries to a total of 18 billion a year, Mr. Chair.
18 billion?
Yeah, 18 billion. 1/8. Second is on the update for DA rates.
18 billion a year.
Yes, sir.
Additional, no?
Yeah.
But of course, we can do that gradually. No, you start with X amount until you fulfill the 18 over maybe a 3-year, 5-year period. But I think it's a worthy investment. You know, in fact, mababa pa nga yung in Taiwan, including the farmers' associations that are mobilized, and the federation and their employees, the ratio is one extension worker to 18 farmers, and they have 580,000 farmers. Again, how can you afford that? Because precisely they're investing. And of course, strategically, pagka nakita ng private sector na seryoso yung gobyerno nag-i-invest sa agrikultura, tsaka sila may inspire na mag-invest din. Tama, DTI? Saan si DTI? Anyway, hindi ba? Pag nakita, ang pinakamalalim na bulsa ay ang private sector. Pero pag nakita ng private sector na hindi naman seryoso yung gobyerno, karampot lang ang pondo, karampot na nga lang, ninanakaw pa, eh bakit kami mga sasabay? Dito na lang kami. Pero pag nakitang seryoso ang gobyerno, talagang pinopondohan ang agrikultura at pangingisda, maengganyo yung pribadong sektor na tumaya din. At pag tumaya na ang private sector, yun ang sinasabing economic growth na sustainable. Hindi sustainable kung gobyerno lang ang gastos ng gastos. Yes, Director Alfon.
Sir, ni-review po natin itong batas. Sorry po dadating ko lang kasi sa department. Napansin ko po dito kasi di po ba ang gusto natin maging sustainable at saka self-reliant yung mga cooperatives. Dito po sa batas natin, parang masyado po sila...
Panukalang batas, hindi pa batas.
Sa panukalang batas po, parang masyado pong bine-baby, sorry po, yung ating mga cooperatives. Kasi po, nakikipag-ugnayan po kami lagi kina Sir Ernie Ordonez, kasama po yung private sector. Inaalam po natin kung paano mailalagay yung mga maliliit na co-ops sa supply chain po ng mga medium and large scale companies. Kasi po, based on sa data na nakuha po natin sa agricultural cooperatives, ang karamihan po ay hanggang ngayon micro. So, meron po tayong 1,740 na micro na 7 years na or more na micro. And then yung small natin, 331 lang. Ang medium, 236 at saka ang large, 226. So, ang question po natin dito, paano po kaya natin mapagtutulungan na mapag-graduate po sila na at least maging small para po magbabayad naman ng SSS, ng taxes. Kasi po, once na naging small po sila, alam po natin na nagko-contribute sila dun sa local economy as jobs. So, sa IRR po ba yun ang panukalang batas or sa batas na natin ilalagay?
Well, bigyan nyo yung inyong inputs, tapos pag-aaralan natin. No? Kung pwedeng ilagay sa batas at wag nang iaasa sa IRR, mas mabuti. No? Pero gusto ko lang liwanagin yun. No? Yung baby, sa totoo lang, siguro iba yung ating pananaw or ibig sabihin nung bine-baby. Kasi sa totoo lang, marami sa ating associations kasi ngayon ng mga farmers, paper organizations na kinakailangan talagang hindi pa nakakatayo sa sarili nilang kumbaga, in fact, ang sinabi nung former king ng Thailand, di ba? The backbone of the nation is the farmer. Sa kanila. Ang iniibig sabihin niya yun, pag yung backbone mahina, hindi makakatayo. Pagka yung backbone may osteoporosis, kasi matanda na yung mga farmer, tapos uugod-ugod na, tapos hindi na makatayo ng husto, di ba? So when the backbone of the nation is weak, the nation cannot stand. And unfortunately, and this is yun na nga, nabanggit ko na to, uulitin ko lang. Yung San Simon, Pampanga, yung San Nicolas Farmers, alam ng Agrarian Reform Community yan. Kausap ko sila since 2022. In 2023, we tried to put together a program na meron ng miller na imi-mill yung kanilang palay na libre. Yung mill nasa Pulilan, yung San Simon, magkaratig bayan lang. Kukunin pa nung miller yung palay para dalhin doon sa mill niya. At siya na rin ang mag-mill libre. Ang sagot sa akin ng Farmers Association, hindi rin namin alam paano namin ibebenta yung bigas eh. Taasan na lang nila yung presyo ng palay. Bilhin na lang nila sa amin yung presyo ng palay na dagdag. So yung bine-baby, sa totoo lang, hindi bine-baby kung hindi kinakailangan bigyan ng sapat na na suporta. Yes, in fact, yun yung description ko ever since, mga 15 years ago. Strictly speaking, and maybe the DA should, think about this long and hard. What we need in terms of our interventions, whether it's the BIFAR, whether it's BAI, whether it's BPI, whether it's all the other agencies under the, is 3 to 5 years of hand-holding of our farmers and fisher folk associations ang necessary before you can really bring them to levels of competition, capacity, and output. Yes, go ahead.
Good morning po.
3 to 5 years, continuous.
Usap po kami ng aking kasama regarding the experiences of the Cooperative Development Authority. Talaga pong kailangan ng suporta ng mga micro and small cooperatives. Kasi po, marami ang namamatay along the way. Ang ganda ng ating pag-oorganisa, na-assistihan po natin. Kaya lang po, pagka hindi nabitawan na natin, 2 to 3 years, wala na po sila. Yan po yung istorya ng aming datos, sir. Yung data namin.
So tama, 3 to 5 years.
Yes, sir. Yes.
At, di ba, minimum of 3, maximum, maybe 5 or more pa nga. Di ba?
Opo. Kaya nga po kami ngayon nagpapanukala na emerge and consolidate itong mga maliliit na micro and small cooperatives para meron silang lakas. Salamat
Which
po.
also, yun ang ibig kong sabihin na yung dagdag na pondo para ma-increase yung budget ng departamento ay dapat yung pondo na yun precisely doon sa 3 to 5 years of hand-holding. Yung resources ng Estado ay siyang gagamitin para palakasin yung hanay ng mga magsasaka by way of infrastructure, by way of post-harvest, by way of organizing, training, access to credit, lahat yan. In fact, sabi ko nga at uulitin ko, sa darating na mga budget call, yung magkano ba? 60 ba? Yung sa rice? Total? Rice, hindi, RCEP tsaka yung rice program. 60 billion. Sabi ko noon at uulitin ko, pinag-aaralan ngayon, doon sa 60 billion na yun, dapat 20 billion doon, direkta sa farmers para palakasin yung kanilang hanay. Yung 3 to 5 years of hand-holding, dapat yung 60 billion na yung 20 bilyones at least doon sa 3 to 5 years of hand-holding ng mga farmers association. Dahil kung hindi natin gagawin yun, yung 60 billion na buo, wala. Mauuwi lang sa, yun na nga, mga programa, mga gastos, mga makinarya, mga assistants, pero paulit-ulit na lang tayong ganun. Every year, dagdag na makinarya, dagdag na assistants, dagdag na cash, etc. Diba? Kasi nga, yung absorption niya ay hindi niya nasusustain. Yung operations niya hindi masustain. After 3 years, wala na. Anyway, yun lang ang ating observation dyan. Pero kakailanganin ng buong bureaucrasya na maintindihan na palagay ko, unless we organize our farmers and fisher folk, lahat ng ating intervention hindi sustainable. Yung sinasabing hubs, maganda yan. Pero pag wala yung organize sa baba, ang makikinabang lang dyan sa hubs na yan, trader din, tsaka yung mga malalaking importer. Ganun din sa drone technology. Kung hindi mo ma-organize yung farm, yung traktora nga lang pagkatapos mong bigay doon sa farmer association, ang reklamo ng iba, yung presidente ng asosasyon ang nakikinabang dahil pinauupan niya doon sa mga miyembro niya. Tapos ang kanyang paliwanag, ako nag-maintain Saan ko naman kukunin yung panggasto sa maintenance nito? Ako na rin, di ba? Kasi walang kapasidad yung buong organisasyon na hawakan at i-maintain yung mga binibigay ng DA. Anyway, para na ako sirang plaka, pero ganun din sa fisheries, mas lalo na. No? Okay, one last point before we end this hearing. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, Senator. Gusto ko lang pong balikan na yung tinatanong po kanina ni Senator Rafi Tulfo, yung
Go ahead.
about the fuel subsidy program. So I was able to ask our management, ang nangyari daw po, nag-propose naman si BIFAR because it's supposedly a continuing program. But ang DBM daw po ang nag-exclude sa NEP na binaba, na tinanggal po sa NEP yung ng BIFAR yung budget. Historically po, back in 2023, na-budgetan po yung programa ng 400 million through DA BAFE. And then 2024, direct 400 million pa rin po ang budget na binigay, direkta na pong dinownload yan, binaba sa BIFAR at in-administer ni BIFAR. Then last year po, significantly slash siya from 400 million, naging 75 million. And unfortunately, this year, tinanggal. So, yun lang po, to
I
update
understand.
the
Thank you for that
committee.
information. Pero just to buuin yung picture, marami doon sa tinanggal, hindi naman marami, but a number of those na tinanggal ng DBM, nag-request ang DA na i-restore. At yun ang ginawa natin. No? Di ba?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, quite a number were not endorsed by DBM, but because the DA reiterated it, nailagay natin. So maybe this coming 2027, pakisabi sa secretary, 'di ba? Isama niya dun sa mga, kung hindi isasama ng DBM, magkaroon ng agency request for restoration. And then we can act on it. Ano ba naman yung dagdagan ng kaltasan yung dito ng ilang, 'di ba? Ilagay yung 100, 200, 300 million, 'di ba? But anyway, having said that, sige, please, no? Budget call na ata ngayon, di ba? Nagumpisa na. Okay. So, pakisumbong na lang kung merong mga sa NEP pa lang ay nag-i-insertion na. Hindi, biro lang. Okay. So, may we request the following to submit in writing yung kanilang position paper, ULAP, ano ba ang League of Provinces? Ano ba, ano nito? Lemcap? Parang langhap. Yung Agrarian Reform Department, KMP, CAMP. And then yung update lang sa DBM coordination with DA for the release nung DA REACH program. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ha? Thank you, ma'am.
Apo. Good morning, Mr. Chair. Yes, nakipag-coordinate na po si Director po sa amin and apparently sila daw po yung lead and we will coordinate po with their office po.
Thank you.
Thank you po, Mr. Chair.
Maraming salamat. There being no other... Oh, meron. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. There being no other matters for this committee to address in this hearing, the Committee on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform hearing on Senate Bill numbers 389 and 1183 on agri-co-ops and extension services is hereby suspended. Maraming salamat.